All right, welcome to Gem Mint Collectibles Live, episode 14. I got some special guests in the building today. The one and only Alex and Gio from Radd Titan. Say what's up to the people.
Yo, yo.
Yo, if you don't know, if you collect statues, you already know who they are. But if you're here from like the omnibus world or comic world, these guys are big in the statue community. And you know what? When I think about you guys, that's kind of what I think about the most, the community that you guys built on Facebook.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice comment. Let me close my door. Yeah.
You better close that door before Alex's head gets so big he can't get out of that hat.
Nah, that's gonna happen this show, man, because you guys have a huge community on Facebook. You guys are big on YouTube. So I don't know if you guys want to just introduce yourself to the people who don't know.
Okay. I'll do it. All right. So if you don't know, Alex and me started up our channel probably about 5 years ago. We started on YouTube, and obviously, you know, a few years in, we've started to build a fairly successful community in the Facebook statue world as well. So that's going really well. You know, we have been best friends for 31 years. And considering we're only 36 now, that tells you pretty much exactly. I mean, I could have killed him and got less jail time. I could have been out and probably be on holiday by now. But yeah, we've been together for a long time. We've been, you know, we've collected everything. You know, yourself, Jim, your sort of stuff as well. Your, you know, Stephen, your cards and, you know, all of that sort of stuff. All the old school figures from He-Man to all that stuff. Action Man, we collected all that when we were kids growing up. And then we started getting into, you know, Bowen 1/6 scale stuff. We did a few joke reviews. Well, Alex did put on a really bad American accent, but they were more popular than you would. I
saw yesterday, I think, for the first time. Like he sent you the video as a joke or some shit, right?
Yeah, he first sent it to me, like as a laugh, and then he posted it publicly, and you know, it got a few hits and stuff like that. It did okay. He got a few hundred or whatever it was, and then we sort of like started building the channel, just trying to do it properly. Fuck it, we'll go at it properly and we'll give it a good go. You know, we've been lucky. Alex has been, you know, all over the world. I've been all over the world with the Radd Titan thing. So you know, we go to cons, we go all over the place. Anywhere that we can get to, we will get there. You know?
Yeah, that's one of the things when I watch you guys, and I'm a little envious. I'm like, man, first of all, you guys are in the UK. That's why we're doing the show during this time. It's like 7 p.m. over there for you guys. It's noon for me. But yeah, see, you guys will go to Singapore. You guys will come to the States, and you're just all over the place with it, man, and covering the conventions. And the Singapore stuff is the stuff that I'd want to do the most, because that's where all the statue, the factories are, the creators are for the most part, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the Singapore side, I mean, I was lucky enough. I went to New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
I went to one in Philippines. I went to Singapore, and out of the kind of statue community, I think that the actual Singapore one is probably the best for the statue community.
Yeah,
I think it's got the most sort of stuff that you kind of want to see, and it you know, there was just the most kind of exclusive pieces there, rather than, I think what happens with for example Sideshow is they have
oh shit, did we lose him?
That'd be perfect timing. That'd be the best timing.
All right. Anyway, while Alex is frozen, let's shout out to some people in the chat. So we're streaming live here on my channel, and I think Alex has it live on Facebook.
Yeah, he's putting it through there as well. You back there, are you, Mr. Director Cap? You all right?
Yeah, can you hear me? Or
yeah, you're back.
What happened? Did I cut off there or something? Or
yeah, you cut off.
You went a bit Rain Man on us, man.
All right, real quick before I forget, because let me shout out the people in the chat. So we got Xavier Polit, what's going on? Supers Kelly, Ed Dude. Let's see, Milton the Manimal's in the chat holding it down. My co-host is out of town. He went to a wedding or some shit.
Jesus, man, talk about priorities. Unless it's his own wedding, man, you should fire him.
It's not even his own wedding. This guy's got no dedication. Shout out to Mike Spina, F State, Edgar D, Unruly Simeon, Who Rang, Buildable Gates, Who else? Venom Fang, Gomez the Collector, Casual Collector, Jay Gone. We got a lot of people in the chat. Shaft, Serious.
Oh, he's brutal, man. We love a bit of Shaft. He's brutal, dude. And man,
brutal. I love him.
He's a good guy. Upstate as well. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, Shaft, he'll tell you how it is in the comments. He'll love you, and he'll tell you, hey, this piece fucking sucks. I love you, Jem. Just like he reminds me of Gio, actually.
I don't know. He's quite savage. I don't know. What's his name? Shaft Serious. I mean, yeah, he's savage.
It's more, yeah, Shaft Savage is more like it. All right, MCE, Captain Bottle Caps, Bill Lumberg's in the house. All right, we got a shit ton of you guys. So just to let everybody know, this is not an interview. I just really wanted to have these guys as co-hosts on the show, just so we could fucking talk shit. I am going to do the drawing for the 5K giveaway for these TMNT books. I figured we'll do it somewhere midway during the show or whatever.
You up to 5K now, are you?
5K, yeah. Actually, thank you. Been grinding it out. So that's a good segue because I was talking with Gio while Alex was getting coffee or whatever the fuck. And Gio said, hey, you're on this YouTube shit a lot. Like, you put out something every fucking day. And I told him, yeah, man, I just try to shoot something. I chop it up, edit it in like 2 minutes and put it up there.
2 minutes, Alex. You hear that? He edits it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, takes me a lot longer than 2 minutes.
5 hours, shit, and you put up a video that looks pretty much exactly how we filmed it. This guy does it, and he does it in minutes. So we have to have a chat about your hourly rate, my friend.
Well,
yes, we get some complaints, Alex. So now, in your defense, I did say he probably has to watch every fucking bit of footage to cut out all the inappropriate shit Gio's saying and make sure that it's good for air.
Yeah, there are some comments that do need to be cut, which I can't go into right now. There are a few legal issues that are going on in the background, and I can't put certain things in chats and that. So yeah, they have to be cut out.
So yeah. I got you guys on the show. First of all, I appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. When I first started the channel, like back in October, Gio was like one of the first people that commented on my shit and encouraged me to keep doing it. So I definitely appreciate that from you guys. And as a fan of you guys, I always like the dynamic. Alex is kind of like quiet, politically correct. Gio's out of shit, not politically correct. We'll say whatever the fuck.
Yeah, well, it's a funny thing. But I have to say, basically from your point of view, with your channel, I've been quite lucky. I get about on YouTube a lot, and I definitely try and promote everybody and definitely try and push. We always have, me and Alex together on that. When we first got into it, it was very difficult. I mean, on a lot of channels and a lot of chats when we first started, a lot of people we were banned from even being mentioned.
Yeah.
But why is that though? I mean, because I'm pretty new to the statue community. I've been around the comic online community for like 4 years through like Instagram and shit like that. But yeah, what was it that just because you never held your tongue and shit?
No, I think when we got into reviewing pieces, we bought statues first, and then we'd watch these reviews on these pieces, and then we'd get the piece in, and we would just be like, what are these guys talking about? Either it's really good or it's a piece of shit. But we sort of were, when we started, it was very much like there was no such thing as a bad review. Never saw.
Oh, okay, really, that makes sense.
You never saw anybody saying anything had problems or anything didn't work, or it was very rare. So out of 100 reviews, there was probably like one, or if you were lucky. And when we come out, we just come out there. We didn't show any respect because we don't. If the pieces that everybody is loving is it's got 100 great reviews and we get it in and we don't think it's good enough, we're not going to protect it, whether we bought it or not, or even if it's somebody else's piece. If I come over to your place, Stephen, and I look at that Liu Kang, man, I'm going to tell you it's a piece of shit. I'm sorry, man. I don't care if it upsets you. I'm going to be like, you need to burn this. Say a couple of prayers, a few Hail Marys, and then you'd be safe. But I think when we got into it, it was a lot more elitist. It was a little bit more closed. And it was about, scratching backs and backhanded deals.
It was about protecting investments as well. A lot of people.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So you give a bad review on this piece. Like, for instance, me and Gio were talking about the 1/3 scale Sub-Zero and Scorpion. how the negativity surrounding those pieces caused them to take a shit on the aftermarket. You can't come close to breaking even. I don't know, selling them.
Yeah, I mean, I have the which one do I have left? I can't remember. I've been in the box so long. Oh, yeah, I've got Scorpion left. And the thing about that was I ordered that day one. Day one, it sold out. Like it was, everyone wanted it, and it was like the piece to have. I think it's like a 250 edition size. Then the Sub-Zero is like 350. There was all this drama about Jerry talking about, we're going to raise the Scorpion to 350 to match the Sub-Zero, blah blah blah, whatever. But then everyone loved those pieces. Everyone wanted those pieces. Everyone was like going crazy about them. They started to show images of them, and there was questions about, that don't look like the prototype. The material looks different. Right. This is that. There was then loads of issues about Pop Culture Shock with their delivery times. They were just taking forever to bring things out, and I think the ninjas were like well close to 3 years. One of the reasons why those reviews haven't been posted is
because you're selling one.
Well, there is that, but the thing is about it as well is the company went over like a change in management. So because the old management were responsible for that statue, we did the review. We did bash it quite heavily, but on the review, we didn't really know much about the takeover and things like that at the time it was filmed. So it's not really mentioned, and we thought it was a bit unfair to kind of post it, to kind of shit on the company when the new manager's doing so much to improve on it. And the critique is about the old management. So that was one of the reasons why we've kind of held back on that as well.
No, that makes sense.
We want the company, we want probably a little bit of distance, and want the new management to make at least, with the Darkness 1/3 and the Conan that's coming out, they're obviously these pieces are really nice. You've got a few pieces. You're a big PCS fan yourself, Steve. So we were trying really hard to maybe let them have a little bit of distance as well, get a few successes under their belt, because it's, there's a little bit of a responsibility when you've got, a big group and a lot of, some decent subs and things like that you don't start stamping on people when they're trying to improve, because we don't want people, we don't want Pop Culture Shock to go under.
Yeah, because no one else is making Mortal Kombat pieces, man. We can't let them go under.
Exactly. We don't want anybody to sort of lose their way, and we don't want to be advertently responsible. And to be honest with you, in the past, we have definitely been responsible for wrecking a few people that take the piss. So you've got to try to be a bit more, on the level. We don't want to definitely start jumping up and down on someone that is trying to fix their situation. They've come into a company with a lot of problems, and they're trying their best to rectify them. So we've got to give them a bit of respect and back off a little bit and be nice and then we'll show it. Once Alex sells it, we'll show that shit.
I gotta tell you, so I got into this statue collecting and PCS collecting during the transition. So I wasn't around pre-Ant Adams. Ever since I came in, I think my first piece, Ant Adams, sold it to me in the PM or some shit, and I was like, man, this is the coolest company ever. You know what I mean? Like, I had nothing but good experiences with them, man.
Yeah.
But hold on, you guys are Radd Titan. Don't you get all your statues for free anyway? And you just
everything. I mean, I'm sure some of the guys that you speak to on other mediums have mentioned that many times. But the thing is,
I was joking with Gio about it before you came in.
I had serious issues with PCS before Ant and Mark took over. I had 3 or 4 grand in pre-orders that they had all the money. I paid everything up front because you get like 15% off. And in all fairness, the Pop Culture Shock prices are pretty decent compared to other companies. At the time, they were very, very reasonable. So it was like, I think the 1/3 ninjas, I think they were like $496 or something with discount.
That's not bad.
And then also I know the He-Man combo pack, when I ordered that in pounds, the pound was actually quite strong compared to the dollars. So it was like 523 pounds. I don't know what it was in dollars at the time, but so that was pretty cheap. So I used to pay for everything up front. And what happened was I had a conversation with someone, one of their customer service people who I believe they've let go now, and the conversation was along the lines of, what's happening with this ninja. It's been 2.5, 3 years now, and they were giving me like really blunt answers, and I said to them, look, I have this much money with you guys. If I could take all my money back and not lose my deposit, I would take it away and spend it on another company in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did then was they cancelled every one of my orders, and they kept all the non-refundable deposits, which was about $800-900.
Right.
So I responded back to them saying, what are you doing? I didn't tell you to cancel them. I said to you, if I could take all my money out, I would go. And then they cancelled them and kept the deposit. So I actually got a friend involved who was like legal, and he actually wrote them an email and stuff like that. And it was going on and on. And then in the end, I got in touch with Mark, and they sorted it all out, and they were really good about it. But the old management were a fucking joke. Absolute.
That's crazy.
Joke.
How so you kind of said, if I could, I would, and they were like, all right, well, here, you're done. But still, I can see if they did that, but gave you everything back, but they kept the deposits too. That was kind of weird.
It took a while.
It took ages. It took a long. Crazy. I mean, that went on for. That must have gone on for about 6 months, and then they I mean, that last email was me pissed off or whatever, but I wasn't angry in the email. I wasn't rude. And then I sent that, and they refunded it. And then to get that, the non-refundable deposits back took like months and months. And then as soon as I emailed Mark and Ant, they sorted it all out. We had them on the chat actually. A few of your guys, I'm looking at a few of your guys on the comments are actually mentioning that you should get Ant on your chat. Ant and Mark are great guys. I mean, they'll be up for that. I mean, they're definitely up for that. Very approachable, very down to earth. They're collectors as well, so they kind of know what they're there for what we want really. They're good for the company.
No, I think that's awesome how you guys had him on your chat. You had Ant and Mark, and I think when you were in Singapore, who from XM did you interview? Was it Ben or?
We've interviewed them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be. When about 2 months ago, we interviewed Brian because there were some issues on Facebook. But then shortly after, he got told by Disney and Disney Singapore not to come onto Radd Titan again because it's indirectly promoting out of their region.
Oh, that's true though, right? That's crazy. Yeah, because all of us are not able to buy those XM pieces directly. We all got to find a middleman, right? So I don't know how Disney feels about that. I mean, we're not buying it from XM, and they're not really the ones directly selling it. I mean,
you know what, man? I mean, we've been there. We've broken bread with them, and I mean that's also where that all started from as well. That's where it actually started from. Where you're, with the old free statue thing was. We have a tendency, me and Alec especially, it's the way we are, the way we've been brought up, is that we're very honest and straight. So we're not careful. We're not thinking about how this looks. So we went out and we had dinner with XM guys. We took pictures. We had a lot of fun, and it was all like, oh look, they're eating with them. They're in their pocket, and it all becomes and it comes from a place that's really quite bitter and jealous.
Yeah.
If you were over there and you were in Singapore and you're walking around their con and one of the brothers said to you, "Do you want to go out and have something to eat tonight?" You're going to say no?
Hell no.
Well, that's one of the times that actually happened. Is there was there was a handful of reviewers at the con, and if you ask any of the guys there, George and I were working non-stop. I mean, XM, we were like, "Hey guys, do you want to come for lunch?" And we were like, guys, we got you've got like 90 statues or whatever. We need to film all these. So yeah, we're skipping lunch. All the other reviewers went to lunch.
Yeah.
No, photos were posted. No comments at all about any of them. And it was like, okay, and then when we were there, we went to the XM office. We had a little talk with them with all the other reviewers. And then we said to one of the guys, to Stanley, we said, hey buddy, can we take your exhibitor passes and go back now while it's quiet and finish off our videos? And he's like, yeah, sure. Ben's there. Take them, go. So we went there, and like we were there till maybe like 11 o'clock at night, finishing up all our videos. And we were like probably about 25 meters away, like probably the furthest point, because the XM booth is huge, the furthest point away from Ben. And literally probably about this loud, I said to George, I'm like, fuck me, I'm hungry, man. And then you see Ben jump up, spin around and go, hey, you guys hungry? You want to go eat? And we're like, how the fuck did he hear that? Jesus. But you know, and of course, I mean, we're there for dinner with him. But the thing about it as well is like, if you were to go to New York Comic Con, I mean, you're a comic guy, and you like, you know, the guys who the artists are like, you're there, and Jim Lee goes to you, hey, dude, yeah, do you want to go for lunch? And you're not going to go, hey, you know, this is going to look bad for my channel. I can't do that. And you're going to go, fuck off. Of course I'm going to go. This is like one of the guys who makes my hobby great, you know. So.
Yeah, I still get a little like fangirlish, like when Ben was like, I'm friends with him on Facebook, or when Jerry likes one of my comments. What's his name? Jerry Macaluso.
He doesn't like my comments ever. No. I'm joking.
Well, I'm probably saying something positive or whatever, but I still like someone says have Ant on the show.
Listen, he is a genius.
Nah,
the guy is an absolute fucking genius. There's no question about any of that. And I completely understand you getting, you know, fangirlish. We do all the time with Sosa. You know, Alex is broke bread with Sosa and things like that. There's loads of people in our industry. You know, Martin Canal. You know, Daniel Bell. We speak to. We got. You know, it's one of them things as sculptors and artists. I mean, that's the great thing about. I think that's my favorite thing about the channel and the pages in general is that. It's a place that collectors, artists, sculptors, company people, they're all in one place. So that, you know, you can get the information that you need directly, or you can ask if there's any problems. And that's really helpful, I think.
Well, as I'm talking about that kind of moment, George already mentioned him, but when we did the Sideshow Lobo review, that was, you know, it's not got like loads of views overall, but it got quite a lot of attention at the time. And I got a message pop up on my Facebook, because at the time George wasn't on Facebook. Mike Canal, you know, pops up, the Mike Canal's name there flashing. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? You know, so click on it. You know, it's like, you know, thank you, friend, for your, you know, great review of my piece. You know, I'm honored, and I'm honored that you would review it and blah blah blah. And I'm like, wow, it's awesome. Screenshot, send it to George. George, check that out, man. You know, dude, it's the same as like
you don't want to ever lose that, do you? Yeah. That's the point. Yeah. The second that becomes, you know, doesn't get them butterflies, doesn't get that in your stomach, feeling that you got somewhere, that you've done something, it's time to leave.
Yeah,
it really is time to
like even when someone in the chat says have Ant on the show, I'm getting nervous already. Like, Ant on the show, what would I say to him? You know what I mean?
Ant's very, very easy to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to him on private message before, you know, but
he's a collector, my man.
Yeah,
he's a collector. He's a lovely guy. He would be great for your channel. You get him on, he'd have no problems. He'd be great.
You got to remember, it's like the thing with Ant and Mark is, I'd spoken to them via PM, never ever spoken to them this way. So that was the first time we'd spoken to them, is when we had the chat in that format. So yeah, very easy, very good to talk to. Another moment as well, you mentioned Eric Sosa as well, when like he must be one of the first guys who we knew by name. It's like Jerry Macaluso, like Eric Sosa, the Kutchek brothers, all those kind of names, and
all sculptors.
And it's like whenever their names pop up, and like as you say, when they like your comments and things like that. The funny one was, I do talk to Sosa now and again on PM. It's normally when something goes wrong, and he then comes in and goes like, "Oh God, you got more drama from that stupid idiot, blah blah blah," and we'll bitch about someone. But when I was in New York Comic Con, I was with my girlfriend, and we're walking through the metal detector barriers, and I had like a mini tripod, which was like a telescopic tripod about this big. Yeah, and it probably looked like a telescopic truncheon. Like, so I'm getting searched. I'm getting all my stuff pulled out, and then all I hear is some guy going, "Yeah, don't let this fucker in. Don't let him in." And I'm like, "The fuck's going on?" And I see like Eric Sosa like turn around, and he's like, you know, he's quite short. He's about 5'5", I think.
Yeah.
So I turn around and like, what the fuck is this guy wearing your bright orange fucking Dragon Ball Z hoodie? And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, it's you, fuck. You know, and that's the first time I ever met him in person. You know, yeah.
That's funny, man. Yeah, for those who don't know, so Eric Sosa, he's a sculptor, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but did he start in like the underground scene and then started doing pieces for the major companies?
Everywhere, man.
Yeah, so he's been everywhere. I mean, he does figures. He does like, I think he's going into like PVC models now, but he was doing like back in the day. He did all the kind of Bowen stuff. He's done a few sideshow pieces. He's done a few XM pieces. So he did the XM4. He touched that up, and then he's done a lot of custom pieces. So, for example, one of the most sought after custom pieces is the Wolverine. He made that. Also, one of the best, arguably one of the best 1/6 is the 1/6 Koto Spider-Man. He's done that. His 1/6 Venom is awesome. You know, he's done loads of. Sorry,
didn't he do Akuma? PCS Akuma, did he not do him?
No,
I thought that was well, which one? Not the 1/3, right?
No, I don't think Sosa.
Maybe the first. No, he's doing the prototypes one now, isn't he?
He's doing. No, he didn't do the PCS one. No.
Did he do anything for PCS? Can't remember.
He may have done. I might be wrong, but he may have done. He may have done a custom one for Mad X.
And then they had the prototypes one he did, right?
Yeah, he's doing the prototypes one now. Is coming up to production now. He did the Ryu, which is pretty damn good. Yeah, it's really nice.
Good.
I think.
Yeah,
so there are quite a lot of pieces. Yeah.
So real quick, we got some more people in the chat here. So they'll give me a couple shout outs. We got Future of All. We got Taylor Alexander Cassidy said, "What's up, Alex and Gio?" He didn't say what's up to me, but you know we'll let that slide. We got my man Master Pizza. Who else is in here? Shorty Larson. You guys probably know a lot of these names too, right? Nicholas D.
Mike Spinner, Casual Collector, Tyler, Alex Cassidy. I think Wo Rang has changed his name because I recognize that picture.
Yeah.
Nicholas, Nicholas is one of our mods. Yeah.
Newly appointed mods.
Newly appointed.
Shout out Nick Yoblo. So if you guys haven't already, so Radd Titan, make sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel. They do statue reviews. They do interviews with a lot of these people that we're talking about. You guys do a live chat. Is it weekly or is it more often than that?
Yeah, we do weekly.
We try and do weekly.
So and you guys are overseas, so I'll be at work or something, and I'll get an email, and that's every now and then if you see me in the chat because I get the notification, I'm like, oh shit, these guys are live. Let me say what's up. And then the Facebook community. So I want to go back to that, right? So how many people are following, or what is it called with the Facebook group? Followers, subscribers?
Members, I think it is.
Members. Yeah.
So I think at the moment on Facebook is probably about 8,500.
Damn,
we it slowed down a lot. It had a moment where it kind of went really, really quick, and then it's kind of plateaued a little bit. But I mean, we've always been like with the tortoise and the hare. We've always been the tortoise. And we've always, like, when you look at our growth for our channel, for example, it's always been like, it's literally a line, like that, a steady line. You'll get guys like yourself, where you'll go like
new money. New money, son of a bitch.
But hold on, so I want to say the same shit I said when I had Cartel on here. I didn't just come out of nowhere. I just happened to start the YouTube after.
You've got your stuff on Instagram, haven't you? So
Instagram is my big place. So
you got like 10, 12K on Instagram.
Yeah, and one time I had 30K on Instagram. I've been on Instagram since 2014, since May of 2014. I was in the Facebook groups first. You know what's funny, Alex? Somebody recently, I don't know if you saw this, bumped an old-ass for sale post on one of the buy, sell, trade CGC posts. It was from like 2013, and you and me both commented on it. I don't know if you happen to see that shit.
Wow.
No.
So somebody was like, "Is this still available?" And the post was from 2013. This was like a couple of months ago. And I was looking at the comments and I saw that you were in there. I was like, "Oh shit!" So, but that's where I first started in like the online community was in 2013 on Facebook, and then I went to Instagram, and Instagram just blew the fuck up, man. And then I wanted to do YouTube because you guys, if you've seen my Instagram, it's heavily with the raffles and the CGC books.
Yeah,
but I want to show off my collection. I want to talk about comics. I want to talk about statues. So I wanted to get into the YouTube shit. And really, like, Cartel, he was the first channel I saw, but I was busting his balls. I said, you didn't make videos often enough, so I had to start searching around. And that's when I found you guys, and I found Joe Prodzic and a couple of those other guys. But yeah, man.
Well, I think George and I were Cartel's first and second subs.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Right at the beginning, we subbed him straight away. Yeah.
So you guys created a monster with him and with me too.
Yeah, that's it. We're responsible. I mean, to be honest with you, it's a funny thing because, like we were saying, it's for us, we try really hard to make it so that's the case, that people like want to share, and it's all about people finding the information. We don't really care about where you go to get the information as long as you can get the information. See, I watch a lot of your stuff because your comic book knowledge is exceptional. So I like, ours is okay, but it's it's probably okay for our standards. But I mean, yours is a completely different level. So
you know what's funny? I feel inferior when I'm around those other kind of comic channels because I can't really retain a lot of shit. I don't know if you ever see me say it, but I'll read a comic and I enjoy it. But if you ask me all what happened, I'll be like, oh shit, it was about that guy who did that thing. I don't really remember. So that's funny that you say that.
What's our Infinity War breakdown video that we did with spoilers? That was exactly.
Yeah. We couldn't remember.
There's another thing, we don't do scripts. We don't do any scripts of any kind. Everything's for hits, man. We just try and keep things really relaxed. We want everybody to sort of be with us, like they were with us in the room. So it's
Manimal's in the chat right now, and he just took the words out of my mouth. I rely on him, so he remembers everything. He's got like a photographic memory. But when he'll start bringing shit up, then I'll remember, like, oh yeah, that's what happened with Gamora. That's what happened with so and so. So I bounce off him.
Yeah, no, we just both we both pretend to be like really confident that we know what actually happened, and we're both wrong probably most of the time.
I was happy to see like my man Ed Dude in the comments right now. He's like, I'm terrible at retaining it as well, and I feel better. I'm like, all right, I'm not a fucking idiot. Other people have the same problem, so it's not just me. But you know what I was going to say?
I mean, Ed Dude knows a fair few bits as well, so he'll tell you that. I mean, he does on our channel. He tells us when we're stepping out of line.
Ed Dude gives us grief as well. He gave me grief because on a lot of the reviews, I'd be too close to the microphone, and I'd be like clicking. I'd be like, I don't know, like a weird, like African, where they kind of like they'll talk, and I'd be like, hey, Ethiopian. For some reason, I'll talk, and I'll be like that at the end of the sentence or something. And then he actually made me aware of that. So I'm more aware of it now, so I don't do it as much. So yeah,
well, my wife always says your sex pest breathing's the killer for us.
I can't do anything about that.
Have your sex pest breathing, we've got 100,000 subs by now.
I don't really fancy getting my nose broken again to repair that. So yeah,
you know what's funny though? I think we're both similar in that sense. If someone gives me some constructive feedback, I'll remember that shit next time, and I'll try not to do certain things that people comment or say in the live chat, and also in the reviews. Like, I never thought I got to make sure this review is only positive. My first popular statue review, I would say, is the Unhinged Venom. And it's no coincidence that it's one that I didn't really give it a great review, you know?
That's the first one I saw of yours.
Yeah, and people always tell me, I love how you're honest. And I'm always like, why wouldn't I be? I don't really understand.
Yeah, but you don't come from that time. That's why.
No, that makes sense when you told me
that. Listen, if there's one mark that we could ever leave on statue reviewing community or statue collecting or anything like that, it would definitely be to leave the romance at the door and just say what you feel. Yeah. Don't worry about whose piece it is, or don't worry about what company made it and you like this company, so you want the company to do well. I mean, I've I've been all over XM recently, like white on rice, because some of their pieces. I mean, some of their pieces I've really gone for, and that, but that happens. It's peaks and troughs. It's not, you know, you do get that from time to time. You review 100 statues or something like that. You know what I mean? You do get a little bit where you think to yourself, well, I've done all right. I've done 100 reviews, and 40 were Sideshow, 30 were PCS, and 20 were this. And
yeah, I don't even think about it. I just, whatever the fuck I have is what I review. I don't think about how many of these guys I've done or whatever.
Yeah, but people that watch you know. That's
yeah. Oh, he loves XM. It's like, hey, I guess I just happen to buy a few of them. Or for you guys, I know you guys get it the most, right?
Like I said before, it's really we're a product of our own honesty. So we don't, because we're honest about it. You know, this you know, we got approached by a company that said to us, you know, if we send you some pieces, would you review them for us? And we said, you know, as long as we can be honest about it, we'll review them. And we you know, we won't lie, or we won't. So as long as you understand that, and that company was Imaginarium Art, and we were very honest about it. When the pieces come in, we said they sent us this. We didn't say, oh, you know, obviously we have to pay shipping and tax, so it's expensive because it's coming from far away. But still, and they kept fucking up the paperwork, which made it even worse. But
yeah, because in the UK we get screwed for we get screwed for tax basically. We don't get any of that. Yeah, we have to pay 20% of the value of the item plus the shipping value as well. So when things are coming over from Singapore or China, that's like another like $400 sometimes. You know, that value goes up by. So then we end up having to pay that, and then they always then, depending on the company, someone like TNT will just make it up as they go along and fuck you hard, really hard. TNT is the worst. So yeah, we would like paying. People are like, oh yeah, boo-hoo, you were getting a statue and paying like, you know, several hundred dollars for it. It's like, yeah, but we're paying the shipping and tax on these statues that we don't really want. So
we don't want them,
you know, it's a bit like that.
But because we were on it, because we're honest about it, because we said that, because we said, oh yeah, you know, that's where it comes from. You know, it's not information anybody's ever uncovered. It's information we fucking gave you. It's not, you don't know anything other than what I tell you. So it's not, at the end of the day, it's because we've always been that honest that, you know, you're going to get a little bit of that. A little bit of that stuff coming.
But I feel the same way. If a company said, let me send you a statue for free to review it, I would tell them, hey, I'm going to give it an honest opinion. So you better make sure it's a good ass piece that you're going to send me, because it's going to get fucking tore up if it ain't.
Well, and the other side of that as well, it goes back to the dinner dates and stuff like that. It's like if your channel is to review a product and a company says to you, we will send you a product that you're not going to see, and you're likely to see it before any other person, and you're going to be the first person to review it, you're not going to say no, are you? You're not going to go, hey guys, you might want to send that to Gem Mint review, because we can't do it. You know, it's just.
I'm sorry, Stephen. You're never going to hear that shit, mate. You're never going to hear that shit.
Well, we actually with Imaginarium Art, we had a funny moment, because they wanted to send products to 3 to 5 reviewers. So they asked us, like, who do you want us to send it to? And at the time, we were working on a list of people, and we were going, well, what about X, Y, Z? And one of the people then decided to like kick up something, like a big fuss about something really minor. So we're like, yeah, fuck him, he's off the list now, you know. So we, you know, it's a bit like that. But sorry, going back to Imaginarium Art, basically, yeah, they would send us like, because what happens is you get like what's it like a call sheet type thing, where it will say, this is the edition size, this is the artist, this is the measurements, this, you know, these are the things. But I don't know, we would forget to use it anyway. But Imaginarium Art was more like, okay, say the head is good and it's sculpted by this person, say that the paint is really, really good and it's done in this style, and it's a bit like, well, yeah, we're not doing that. And what happened is you know, their products came in, and the first product that came in was the Aquaman, which when you see that, it's a 1/3 piece. It was meant to be a half scale, but it's 1/3, And when we got that in, I mean, we had a prototype piece which was painted by oh shit, his name's like, it's not Jeremy Rayner because that's the actor, but his name is very similar to that. And he's a 616 scale painter, and he painted the head of it, and they were really, really good. But unfortunately, so we could only review what we had in front of us. The production pieces obviously weren't painted by him, but we were reviewing what was in front of us, and the Aquaman was pretty decent. So we gave it a good review. We said what we didn't like, and we reported back to him to say, you know, these pieces on the armrest, take them off. They're going to break in shipping, blah, 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 blah. They did that. The second piece they sent us then was the Hulkbuster, which I still have in my collection. I think it's a fantastic piece. It's super, super impressive, and it's really, really well done. So we gave that a positive review. And then they started to send across old stock. So it was a bit like, you know, they're waiting on some licensing agreements to come through, and then they started to send us these old busts they couldn't clear. So that's when the scripting started to come in, and they started to say, mention this, mention this, mention this, because they needed to clear out the warehouse. Right. And that's where the relationship got a little bit sour, because they sent us a what's the Mark 39, which is a Star Boost, and they sent us a half scale bust of that. But it literally looked like the panels are meant to be white, and it literally looked like someone had been like smoking, and all the panels had gone like a kind of beigey color on parts of it. And then parts of it were like this stained beige color, and then the arms which come off, or with some of the panels that come off the shoulder or something, they were like brilliant white and loose. And the colors didn't match, so we mentioned that, and he got a bit sulky, and then he had a drunken outburst on Radd Titan. He posted something which, unfortunately, we didn't really need to do a lot, because then all the members got involved, and also someone who is in Radd Titan, he knew contacts at Disney, and he decided, well, you know what, I take this very personally that this person's talking to you this way. I'm going to contact someone I know at Disney, and I'm going to send them all these screenshots, because I think this is disgusting, the way he's acting. And I said, look, do what you want, I ain't going to stop you. And he basically sent all the screenshots to Disney. He sent me the response of the person saying this isn't on, and shortly after they lost their Marvel license.
Damn.
So yeah. So don't fucking Radd Titan.
You don't know who's in whose group, man. So you got to be careful, because there's a lot of people just floating about, you know, keeping an eye on everything and seeing what's going on. And we're quite lucky. We got, you know, we try to manage the group as good as we can. And even with 8,500 members, it's a very family feel. You know, everyone supports each other, and we don't get any of this.
Yeah, and you can say whatever you want, right? It's not like a heavy moderated group. You can bash a piece, you can whatever. It's not like
it's about like you can bash the piece, but it's about kind of timing, and you know, if someone posts and says, actually Liu Kang, I don't care. If anyone posted they got Liu Kang and they're happy, I'm going to ban them. But that was a bad example. So, for example, if someone says, I can see the background, that Shao Kahn looks impressive. If someone says, I just got my Shao Kahn, bloody exclusive, super, super impressed. If someone then comes in and starts bashing that, then I think that's the wrong time to do it.
Right. It's a positive post. Don't bring it down. Right?
If someone says, I'm thinking about buying the Shao Kahn, what do people think? And then someone says it's a pile of shit there and starts bashing it. That's more the right place. We also had issues where there was a group of haters who, we have like blacklists. We have lists of people we are monitoring and kind of making sure that they stay in line, because we're not stupid. We know who's who. We know who's friends with who, and we know who's like just doing things to fuck with us because we've removed their bodies, and we know who's who. And the thing about that was there was a group of 5 or 6 guys, and they were basically like, it was the same kind of thing. For example, someone would say, I just got the new Spider-Man PF, I'm super happy, pose is super dynamic, what do you guys think, blah blah blah. And then you would get the first guy would come on and go, "Oh, I don't really like that. You know, I prefer the comiquette." That's fine. Okay. Next person would come in going, "I agree with person A. Yeah, the PF is a pile of shit." Person C comes in, "Yeah, anyone who buys that PF is a fucking idiot." Person D, and there was like 5 of them, and what they would do was they would troll. They would kind of gang up on people posting like that, and I think they were trying to do it to discourage those people from posting.
Right, make the community vibe like a negative thing.
Yeah, but it was always it was always this group of people. So we then said to them, "Look, yeah, do one, fuck off. You know, you're not welcome in this group."
Man. We were much more clinical than that. We baited them. We threw one out. And then we posted. We don't usually post that we throw people out. Yeah. So we put a public post that going, "This guy's gone," and then we waited for all of the guys to come out and start giving it all the mouth, and then we knew who they all were, so we just threw them all out as well.
It's all about it's all like elitism, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure you get that in the comic world. I mean, you'll get a guy. I mean, in the statue world, you have like different collectors. So you'll have the collectors who've been collecting for a long time, and you know they've been there since the beginning, and they do it. But you'll also have. I mean, we've got a lot of guys who have been there since the beginning who are great, and they get involved, and they're really good to all the new guys. But then you've got the other guys who think, "I've been collecting since the beginning. I know more than you. Your opinion is bullshit. You know, your opinion means fuck all." And every time someone new comes in, or anytime someone goes, I don't like the Spider-Man original premium format negative zone, which is like an edition size of, I think, 75.
Right.
The people will then go, "Yeah, you only don't like that because you haven't got one and because you can't afford it."
Right.
And then they'll post a picture of them with 2 of them or something. You know, it's just like, oh fuck. But you know, it's just, yeah. That's what we're trying to get rid of in our group, is those kind of people. We try and encourage, like, if you have no statues and you just like statues, or if you have 1,000 statues, we want to encourage these people to be there. We want to encourage these people to, you know, to talk to each other, to share. If a new guy comes in going, "I haven't got a statue yet, but what's the opinion on this?" And we love to see some of the old guys coming in going, "Well, blah 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 blah," and we love to see that.
Yeah, I had a message the other night. Right? I had a message, private message, PM, a new member I let into the group, and he was a really nice guy. His name was Lee, and he messaged me to say, "Look, thank you for letting me into your group," and he sent me loads of pictures of a few of his stuff. I said, "Bro, share them." And he goes, "Oh, I've only got like 5 things." I mean, the guy had an ECC Hulk, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, that's all you need. That's all you ever have. That's fine. You know what I mean? The guy was like nervous. I said, "Look, man, share. They're all good. That no one's gonna jump on you. No one's gonna give you a hard time." And he did it. And then he messaged me back like 2 days later, going, "Oh man, I'm so happy I did it. You know, I got so many great responses." And that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. It's about being positive. I mean, everyday life is difficult. Work is hard. Politics is hard.
Yeah, your hobby shouldn't be
difficult. Family, work, stress. Yeah. You know, making allowances for everybody. This is meant to be a place that you come into, and it's not like that.
So it's that being said,
people can be like, cool.
What made you guys start the Facebook group? Were you part of other statue groups prior and didn't like how they were being managed or something? Or is that?
Well, that was my side, because George went on. George never. George didn't have a cell phone, you call it there, like a mobile phone. He didn't have one till he got his wife, and she wanted to keep a track of him. So like before that, you'd call him at home, and that was it. He didn't have Facebook for a long time, and what happened was his wife set up like a profile for their dog to like post all the pictures of the dog, just keep them all together. Just to kind of document the dog growing up. So that was George's profile originally. Then it was called Neo Man.
Here it is.
So basically, George went on Facebook until maybe like 2.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago or something. But so I was on a lot of groups, and I was posting everywhere. I was spamming every single group with the you know, the newest video and whatever else. And
and by the way, and thank you for letting me spam my videos in your group.
Yeah, it's fine. Sharing is caring.
Right. I mean, hey.
So what happened was, you know, obviously people then, certain groups, they start to be a bit like, can you stop posting that there? Can they start? There was other groups as well where they would, I would notice that they were like deleting the posts as well. So like you'd look through to try and find, you know, the video that you posted, or, you know, when you go through your feed and it will say like, Stephen Smalls commented on that, blah, 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 but you click on it and it's gone. They were deleting things as well. So in the end, it was a bit like, you know what, fuck them. I'm going to create the Facebook group and then do that. And yeah, it was
but in line with the right stuff. So like people like yourselves can, you know, you've got access to 8,500 members there. You know that you know your subs are going to come from these places. That's the whole point. If we start closing that off and saying to people, well, you can't share your stuff there. You can't. I mean, who does that help? It helps me. Sure, it keeps my channel strong and make yours weak, but it's not helping the collector. That's the whole point. The whole point is when I buy something, it's the same as you. If you buy an omnibus, right? You buy a book, and you know it's out for a while, and there's loads of people reading it. You want to know what these people think of this story before you start investing money in it. It's the same with anything that you collect. You want as many opinions as possible, so that you can at least get an overall opinion. I mean, I always find there's like people that are very similar to me in my tastes, so I'll watch them. You know, there's a lot of people. So I think, you know, I'll watch like Jim Mint. I watch Jim Mint and see what he thinks of this piece before I buy it, because you know he's got some good taste. I mean, I would say that if you didn't have them 1/3 ninjas there and that new Kang there, you know that I would be watching it ridiculous. You know, you had me, man. I was there with you. Respect was there, and then you just.
But also,
no. I know when he lost your respect.
Which one?
Do you remember when I remember the conversation we had?
Oh, the Carnage PF.
Yeah, when you said
damn right, you are
three Carnages in the row. We were like, he was talking highly about you. He was like, yeah, I really like this guy. You release that Carnage review, and he goes, "What the fuck is this guy smoking? Jesus Christ!"
But I feel the same way about Gio. I'm like, how can he like this Comic Cat over the PF, even over the XM? So it's funny because I feel the same way. I look at that Comic Cat and I'm like, this shit is a bastardization of a piece.
No, can you
send it to me? I'll take it.
Man. The detail, the sculpt, and the work that went into that, it's a masterpiece.
Nah, I don't see it, brother. Hey, but you know what's funny?
Scratch the fork down it like the Carnage PF. It's got a little bit of fork scratches, chicken marks on it. The orange, been painted orange, and it's got his legs are so narrow, it's almost falling over. I mean, come on,
he should be narrow. He should be.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the PF is more comic accurate. I did like parts of the PF, but the thing about the PF is gone. Do you know what? Sorry,
but with Gio, I noticed that Gio tends to like my non-statue videos more. Like it interests you to see the omnibus shit or the cards or whatever else.
Yeah.
So,
I watched I watched that card video when you did the big display.
The frame, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
In the frame, beautiful. That really nice.
Yeah. So you know, you mentioned that.
My favorite part about that, right, was when you said, yeah, I took it into Michael's and it was going to cost me $1,200, and then I had a voucher, and then I had like it was like half price day, and then it was this and this and this, and it was like, and it was $300 in the end or something, and I was like, damn, how could it go from 1,200 to
70% off? Yeah, I don't understand the logic behind their pricing either. Like we're gonna make it an exorbitant amount, but there's a 70% off coupon that they do like every Sunday. So who the fuck would go there on any other day to frame something, you know? So
I just on eBay, it was just like it popped up on my like my watch list. It just kind of came up, and it was 3 packs of the X-Men 1995 cards. And you didn't watch the video, by the way, George, did you?
No.
Yeah, you fucker. So basically, I opened them up the other day.
I only watch Jim Mint for cards, man. Don't watch this.
The funny one was I also bought like 2 packs of these Hulk cards, which are fucking dreadful. And I opened up the X-Men 95 ones. They're actually quite good. There's some good ones in there, George. You should watch it.
I'll check it out. I mean,
I just bought the holy grail of trading cards. It didn't get in yet, but I'm gonna do a video when they come in.
What's that?
So it's the 1996 Marvel Masterpieces.
Yeah.
Those are
they're like some of them are like 30 pounds, 50 pounds a card, isn't it?
Well, most of the best cards are like 95, 94, 96. They're all like around them few years.
Well, I think that, in my opinion, the set that I had framed, the Joe Jusko set, is to me the best overall set. Every card is good. And then in the 93, 94, 95 sets, they have different artists, not just one dedicated artist for the whole set. Yeah. So 96 was done by Boris and Julie. I don't know if they're a couple or whatever, but they hand painted the same way Jusko did the 92 set. It's all hand painted. It's all the same vibe. It's not like different artist interpretations. But it came out around the time where the trading card market took a shit, and no shops ordered the 96 set. It's very rare of a set. Like the base set goes for like $750 US. That's probably like $850 pounds.
I was really close from buying that Infinity War, the Infinity set, you know, that you got.
The box sets. I know. I got Geo on the box sets.
So you've already fucked one of my friends up. Our mate.
Oh yeah, really?
Someone just commented in there.
All the time, shit. But he's like, oh, you know, link your video, send your video to me, saying, George, got to buy this. George got that. Fuck off, man. Don't make me. I'm already getting steel books. I'm already getting Marvel coins. I'm already collecting statues. I'm already getting comics. Fuck, how much more stuff do you want me to have?
I actually have a few cards here, really. I've got like oh shit. Was it Marvel? No, it was Marvel versus DC. I got the set
amalgam or whatever, right?
Yeah. So
the verses.
Yeah, it's like it's Aquaman. It's all like, do you know where like Marvel and DC have always got the same characters? So it's like Aquaman versus Namor.
What are you guys like in your 30s, right?
Yeah.
So we're probably around the same age, and I think that's what I got into. That's what got me into comics first as well, with the trading cards, man.
And also these ones were these are my favorite ones. They're the Marvel metal ones. Did you ever have those?
I never had them because I always had more of Spider-Man cards, and I think that's like an X-Men set, right?
No, Marvel Metal's everything. But the best thing about a Marvel Metal was right? when you turn them over, they're they're not actually metal. They're like I know what you mean, but like, they're cards. But the thing is they actually have like the powers and stuff on the background, so you can actually use it like play top trumps with them.
Trumps, yeah.
I've been watching those on eBay, those metal, because that's not really an expensive set. I think you can get it relatively cheap, right?
I don't think you can. I think it's
different.
Yeah, maybe it is.
All right, hey, before I forget, I don't want to, because I know George Gio's got something he's got to do. I'm going to do the drawing for the giveaway right now, because I don't want to turn around and you guys got to go, and I still got to do this drawing.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'm going to lock my. I don't think you guys are in it, right?
Put us in there. That's another one. So these are cheap as well. The Silver Surfer.
Yeah, they have like the Silver Surfer. There's like a Ghost Rider. So those are all the Prism cards, I think.
Yeah, this is Silver Surfer 93 72 card set Prism.
All right, we're doing this thing. Hold on. So I'm going to share my screen, right? You guys aren't in it. You're not allowed to win. Sorry.
Well, we should have done that for Rodney. Yeah, that went wrong.
Hold on. Present to everyone. All right. Am I showing my screen? Can you guys see that? Or?
Yeah.
We're good, right? All right. So I'm going to run this thing.
Make sure your porn preferences are not on there, man. On them top them there.
Yeah, that's my work computer. That's not my other one. All right. So this is how I do the drawings, right? We use random.org. This is where we're going to put the names. We're going to roll dice. We roll 2 dice to determine how many times we're going to randomize the list. I've got the list of, it's about 300 and some people. So let me see.
Shit.
It's a lot of motherfucking people.
Eric was on our one as well. I just saw Eric. Eric Bruno.
So what's going to happen is we're going to have 3 winners. So whoever's the name is, the first, second, and third place winners is how we're going to do it.
All right.
The first place winner gets
hope that
the
your
slab.
dice are lower than ours.
What's that?
Let's hope your dice are lower than ours. We did this this week, and I think we got 11 and we got 10.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll 2 dice, but if it gets snake eyes, I'm going to re-roll it because that snake eyes, it doesn't let you randomize enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm
right.
ready. Yeah. I'm not in the draw.
I don't care because I can't fucking win it.
Yeah,
so.
I can't win it.
All right. So here goes. The number is 9. We're going to randomize this thing 9 times, y'all. First place is going to get the slab. Second place is getting the Kevin Eastman variant. Third place is getting the Ramos variant. Shout out to Planet Awesome Collectibles for providing the book, so I didn't have to buy anything.
You got them for free?
How many? Yeah. Well, I got to ship them, so let's hope I don't get somebody.
Man. I'm subbing.
And at least, hopefully, I don't have to ship them to Australia or some shit, man. I had to do that with my last giveaway. That shit was like $100.
Singapore is one expensive. That's the worst place.
We've done it loads of times, man. We've been doing giveaways for the last 3 years, and we've been fucked many times. Don't worry.
All right, here goes the winner, y'all. So I randomized 8 times. This is the 9th time, right? The dice are at 9. So here goes our top 3 winners. All right, here we go. All right, first place winner, Nadia Amin. Second place is Reaping Revolver. Third place is Timothy Johns. Those are the top 3 winners out of 306 people. The dice are at 9, as you can see right here. So congrats, man. You guys got to hit me up one way or the other, whether it's on YouTube or however, man. Comment on here. How do I come back to this thing now? So stop sharing.
Yeah. Hey,
all right, cool. All right, cool, man. So I'm looking at the chat here. Congrats. Yeah, so hey, Manimal, you want to do me a favor and keep those names so I don't forget who won? And if you're a winner, you can email me at gemmintc@gmail.com. And we'll have to figure out a way to prove that it's you and not some asshole trying to just steal the prize, you know? But yeah, man, congrats. Nadia Amin. I don't know, man. I hope these are domestic winners. Otherwise, I'm going to get fucked on this ship.
Are these all turtle like comics then? Yeah, is that what they all are?
Yeah. So Planet Awesome. So this guy, he submits books to CGC. He gets signatures. I guess he's a CGC dealer or whatever you want to call it. And this is his. These are his exclusive variant. Like if you look at the back, it's got his logo on the back and everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So Planet Awesome Collectibles. This is his exclusive variant. The first place winner gets this one. It's signed by Kevin Eastman and Joe Sinnott, who both worked on the cover together. These are called the Virgin covers because they don't have the TMNT logo on the top. And it's also like a semi-key issue. I mean, it's from the current run. It's the death of General Krang. It's issue 75. So not too shabby.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I guess spoiler alert. Yeah, but the shit is from October, so I mean, if you're a fan, you should already know
that shit already.
Someone said, "What's it worth?" I don't know. I mean, I think for a book like this, you'd have to put it on auction on eBay to see what it's worth because it's a rare item. I mean, how many of these are going to be double signed, kept at 9.8 grade? You know,
that's what I hate. I can't. It's so hard when you got something that's so rare. There's no price. I get that loads of times. I had someone come in the other day and ask me how much my Aaron Ray Perez Deadpool was. I was just like, it's never sold. I've never seen one. I've never seen really one sell. I don't know what it's worth. I have no idea. You know what I mean?
That's where the eBay auction comes into play. That's the only way you really truly know the worth.
Yeah,
you have to be careful. Yeah, with the auctions. Yeah, but sometimes you have to be careful with the when people put things up for sale, especially with statues, because if you go by past sales, you could see the same fucking guy posting the same statue 6 times to inflate the price. And also, there are people who will, even with auctions, they'll bid up their item, and then a couple of months later they'll put it back on there.
Yeah. That's why it's hard. Like Gio said, like if it's like a common book that has thousands of sales, it's easy to identify the market value. But if you have something that's rare, it's very hard to determine that.
How long have you been collecting omnibuses for?
I got my first omnibus probably in 2015.
Fuck.
2015, man.
And you got how many books do you have there? You must have hundreds of books there.
Yeah, I think when I did a count with my daughter, and including the trade paperbacks, it was like 700. And the trade paperbacks is only like 50 of them, so it's the majority of my collection is Marvel DC Omnibus and DC Absolute Editions.
You're talking about books that are like we're talking about, what were they, $50 each?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of them have a cover price. They probably average $100 on the cover price. However, if you buy them when they're newly released through InStockTrades.com, they're typically like 50% off. Yeah. However, you can have older books that are out of print, and we call them whales in the omnibus community, like an X-Men Silver Age 1 will sell on eBay for like $350.
Yeah, as in whales, as in white whale, as in that.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Because it's like something that,
is it like
that goes back to old school sort of like fisherman stories of
what is that shit? That's Moby Dick or something. Yeah, in the CGC world and in the statue world, you'll call a piece like that a grail. But in the omnibus world, they don't really use that term. They say it's a whale, because a lot of these books you can find them in the wild. I mean, I like to go to like the local shops and try to see if they have an out of print book there. There's people that we call whale hunters that's all they do. They just look for these fucking out of print books or whatever, and it's fun, and that's a hobby in itself,
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the fun is actually like the hunt as well is quite fun, isn't it?
Exactly.
Trying to track it down, and isn't the Silver Surfer one? That's quite expensive as well, no?
The Silver Surfer one is, but you got to be careful, because I've had books that were out of print. They were selling on eBay for $500, and then they get a reprint. Now in the omnibus world, nobody cares if it's the first print or the second print. It doesn't devalue the second print. It actually devalues the original one, because why am I going to pay $500 when I can just pay $50 for the same exact shit? It's just another printing. So it's only a collectible in the sense of the supply and demand, not so much the edition size.
That's true with anything, That's true with everything. I mean, the statues, it's the same. It's the same reason why I don't like open edition.
Right.
It's why I got a real problem with open edition, because I don't know the numbers. And if I don't know the numbers, I can't establish, whether I want to get it. So it's difficult.
Hey, so what's funny? So this show, we actually didn't really have a lot of questions. Normally there's a lot of questions, but somebody asked, why hasn't Radd Titan started making statues or customs? Or have you?
Well,
we get asked a lot.
Yeah, the thing is like we've had a lot of questions about, would you like to get involved in this project with us, and would you like to do this with us? And I've also had times where, I wanted, for example, funny enough, a doppelganger statue.
Oh wow.
And I've had conversations about pricing and whatever else with several people who could make it and do most of the work, and we'd split the profits and things like that.
Right.
But in all honesty, I look into it and I'm a bit like, I just don't want the grief attached to it. And in all honesty, I'm not that creative, so yeah, I can't really. I mean, like
creative. But,
a long time ago, back in, not that long, 2014, I actually worked like with a concept on a statue, and then that went through, and I come up with the idea for it. They come back with some sketches which were actually much better than my idea and much better than what I saw in my head. But it got made, and it was it was okay. It came out all right, but it wasn't my project. It was I just said to them, you do it and whatever else. Once they decided who they were going to work with, I didn't want to get involved. But I don't know. I think there's just too many politics. I think with one of the ones as well is we kind of we do what we do, but we kind of want to go further with it as well. And I think if you might sort of burn some bridges if you kind of start making customs as well with certain big companies. The custom world is basically cutting into their profit.
Right.
And basically is illegal. So they don't really look at it too.
You can't really have Ant on the show and then turn around and do a custom Akuma statue, right? It's gonna be like.
Sure. And also as well, it's if we can't go out and have dinner with XM, what the fuck are we gonna do when we're making statues?
Right.
If you know what I mean, if we went out and we were like, we did any character, we did like anything, you know what I mean, we decided, okay, we're gonna make a custom Silver Surfer and we're gonna have Daniel Bell sculpted, we're gonna have this, the second we get into that, then we're invested financially in this hobby that we're doing. And the second that happens, that can be difficult. We're sharing that, we're going out and sharing some ribs with fucking Sang. But you know what I mean? How if we're sharing ribs and we're getting accused of getting XM pieces for free? How in fucking Christ's name are we going to be able to make a statue and it'd be like, oh yeah, we're completely independent. This Silver Surfer's crap, but this Silver Surfer is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing as well. Is there's a few guys who review their own customs, and you can kind of showcase your piece, and you can do like a video of the piece and say, this is how we did it, and this is the concept, and this is this. But they actually like review it, and they're like, yeah, the paint is amazing, and the sculpt is awesome, and it's like, yeah, you're just selling your piece, and there's no, you can't believe it because of the fact that's your money. You're trying to make money on that, so how can you review it?
Your opinion is going to be biased for sure, man.
Well, yeah, I've had conversations with a couple of people like that.
Yeah. We've had that. I had it once where, a guy refused to sell me a piece once he heard I was interested in it, a custom piece, because
he had a second one.
No, I'm not selling it to you because you're going to review it and you're going to say all the faults that's wrong with it, and that'll affect my sales and it'll affect the market, and I've got them to sell. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So there's a big politics, man. It's like anybody. I'm sure in the omnibus world,
it's not really the question. It's not really the question you asked, but there is actually like there's a force like a force economy with customs as well. There are individuals who are very, very good businessmen, and what they'll do is they'll release an edition size of say 50. They'll say that the release date is going to be Friday coming. When it gets to Friday coming, they've already sold 15 pieces or whatever anyway to their friends. What they'll then do is on that Friday, they'll sell maybe 10 or 15 more pieces, and then they'll say it's sold out. So they have like another 15 or 20 left. Then what they'll do is when the first 15 who are their friends will then hype the piece and say, oh my God, this is like the best custom ever. I can't believe I've gotten in on here. Oh my God, I'm so lucky, blah, 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 blah. Post the pictures, and then everyone else is a bit like, wow, how comes I didn't get a chance at this? This is great. I want one. And then people will be like, well, I'll sell you my pre-order. But what they're doing is they're selling the remaining 20 for the guy at an inflated price. And we even had it with... I'm not going to go into names, but there was one of them where they sold out the piece. They knew how popular the piece was. So they released 10 artist proofs. They were like, yeah, guys, we had 10 backup pieces in case there was damages. We haven't had any damages, so we got 10 artist proofs sitting here, waiting to go. But this is the new price. This is a new price, which is 3.5 times the amount you got to
respect the hustle, man. I'm over here like I didn't think of any of that shit.
it's clever. I mean, the business side of it is clever. Generating the kind of false hype, and then all that happens is also you see the first 15 or 20 people who had the pre-order early. You know who they are. You see them flipping them later on. You see them selling them for a stupid amount later on. And then, when you actually do get to see that piece in hand, it's a pile of shit.
That's crazy, man. So, all right, man. Well, hey, let's hope that mine goes a little bit better. I'm just the kind of guy that's like, I'm very eccentric, right? Like, if I like something, I go all into that shit. So as soon as I see people making custom pieces, I'm like, I want to make my own custom piece. And that's just how my brain works, But we'll see how it goes, man. I'm, definitely going to try to.
At least you're going about things the right way.
I would like to think so. I'm trying to make sure that
you're not making fucking Batman, are you? You're making a character that actually does not exist in the 1/4 scale statue world. Actually, I don't even know in 1/6 if that character is anywhere.
Yeah,
that's already a good start. You know, Custom started off that way. It started off being that, you know, we're going to give you statues that are fillers for the rest of your collection. But now what we're starting to see more and more of
is we're going to give you a Magneto.
More Hulk, more Magneto, more, you know, more of the A-class people.
Did we lose him? We lost our host. We're taking over. We are taking over. By the way, George, you got your boy Stat, F Stat, and he's saying you owe F State, you owe him beers. He said, "Come to Miami." I didn't know he was in Miami because I was in Miami last year.
I ain't sending you over to him.
I would have bought him a beer. I would have bought him a beer. All right,
that's a good one there, Steve. But you left your own chat.
You got good. We hacked you. We hacked him. We got rid of him out of his own chat. You've taken over.
I think we're still live though.
Yeah, we are.
We all took a shit right there, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
You're doing the right. You're doing the right thing. At least you know you're not doing the 23rd Magneto. You're not doing at least it's a character. You're starting off. I mean, Custom started off that way. They were all characters that you hadn't seen, like people like Ronan. You know, like Malik, Ronan, and Loki. I mean, they're all characters we need. But you know, when you start jumping into the 23rd Wolverine and the 34th Batman, then it's just another money spin like a company, and you can't claim you're not taking a piece of the pie. Then you got to try and play it as transparently clear as possible. So far so good, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
If we get to see your piece, we'll let you know if it's any good or not.
I know you will.
Well, I really want to see because you're working with Bon, aren't you, on this?
Yeah. So I know Bon from Instagram, right? And I know he was into the statues way before I was. And when I saw he was doing a custom, I hit him up. I'm like, yo, what's the connect? Because he's got to connect with the sculptors, with the factories, or whatever. Yeah, me and him just went half. I mean, it's not that expensive. I mean, a concept art is very inexpensive. The sculptor, especially if you're splitting between two people, is not going to run you that much. So I figured, fuck it, I'll give it a shot. We plan on a low edition size. In my head, it's 40, but we'll know. I guess it won't be more than that. I'm thinking maybe between 30 and 40. But something to make a few bucks, make a statue that we want to make.
That's mate. It's like I said. It's all tick box exercises all seem to be in the right column. You know what I mean? The numbers are right. It's not 140. That's when you understand what I mean. It's I don't know, man. There's no written rules in how to behave on these things. But I think I definitely think if you start something, if you're going to jump into this, then you're doing all the things that I probably would do if it was me.
I'd keep
the number sensible. I'd keep the character right. I would make sure it's something that the community wanted and needed, and it isn't going to get touched by probably any of the major companies.
Right. I'd make 500 and make as much money as I can, and then I'd run away and go.
They don't even ship them.
Go on a desert island.
So let me ask you. I wanted to ask you guys, what are your most anticipated pieces for 2018?
George. Well, I could do mine then because mine's easy. Because mine is basically the Prime 1 Guyver. So I'm a big Guyver fan from the anime from the early 90s, and I think when we started doing these videos, we got asked a lot the question about if you could have any character made, who would it be? One of the ones that always came up in my comments was always the Guyver.
He has a life-size bust Guyver, right, Gio?
Yeah, that's right. He has the ECC one. It's actually very nice. It's a little bit more based off the film, though. The Dark Hero movie that was a big walking movie.
I have no idea who Guyver is. I think I only know of him through the statue community. But
no, sorry. You were just you froze a little bit there, so we just popped over you. We just weren't interested. I mean, I think for me, it's gonna sound silly, but I think Eric Sosa's prototypes Akuma I'm expecting that soon, and I'm very excited. Akuma's my favorite Street Fighter character, and I really like the way he's gone with that particular. I mean, pre-order wise, that's a big one for me. But I'm in the process of the minute of actually getting my XM Studios Thanos repainted, top to bottom. So base, you know, all the gold changed, all the blues changed, all the portraits changed. You know, I'm trying to get a little bit of a Jimmy Chung look on one of the portraits. I'm trying to get a little bit of a Ron Lim look on one of the others. Gotcha. You know, I'm trying to get, you know, I'm trying to mix it a bit. You know, I'm changing the skin tones a little bit closer to the film. And trying to do something with that, you know, I'm changing it. So actually, that is probably, it's the first ever repaint I've ever been involved with another artist. So I think that is probably my most exciting. I'm eager just to get that in hand and review it. And because for me, I think the sculpt on the XM Thanos is much closer to comic book than anything else that's really out there. It's certainly caught a scale, even more than the maquette. So it just, the paint on that is a bit sloppy. It needed upgrading. So I'm excited. It was just very
flat. I felt like. Do I sound weird to you guys? It sounds weird to me.
No, you sound fine. No, you sound fine to me.
Okay.
No, cool. No, the picture's quite glitchy. I don't know. I thought it was me, but yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, the paint was just very flat to me. That's the only thing I didn't really like about that Thanos. But what's funny is when I went to compare him to the maquette in that video that I did. On camera, the XM was popping. I was like, damn, it looks way better on camera.
Yeah.
Compared in person, I didn't feel the same way. But even when I was looking in my camera, I was like, damn, it looks really good right now. Even though I like the maquette better. But
I think that happened with the fucking Sideshow Apocalypse. It was a pile of fucking dog shit. The one I had is one of the worst painting I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All of the pipes were all flaking on the back. All of the paint was oversprayed, and we were bashing it because it was justified. It's light. It's really, really light. That was your first piece, wasn't it?
That was my first. Not the first one I bought, but the first one in hand, first premium format, and I still haven't looked at it.
Galactus was your first pre-order.
No, Wolverine versus Hulk.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh no, sorry, Galactus was Cartel.
Yeah, that was Cartels. That has an open edition size too, but they don't seem to be making it though, right?
No, they won't remake it apparently, but yeah.
Remake it. But for me, if it doesn't, it's just one of the standards that I set myself collecting wise. If it doesn't have a number or the edition size is just too high, I just don't touch it. It's my.
So you're not a fan of the Galactus maquette though?
I love the piece. I've seen probably about 12 of them in person, and I've seen one that was painted well. The other 11 weren't painted very well. So I don't think the paint on that piece standard is great. I definitely think that you know, when you get one that's actually pretty clean, it's I think this what they did, modernizing the suit and changing the colors. I think they've turned. I mean, Galactus is one of the most camp looking fucking disco 1970s belt bottom wearing
big purple giant.
Yeah, it's like to transition that into something that actually looks fucking amazing is really, really difficult. And I think Sideshow did a cracking job of doing that. But again, because the fact I don't know how many there are, you know, there's no whispers about, you know, how many there are or anything like that.
Right.
It's a piece I would love, but you know, you got to try and keep a few principles for yourself.
Well, based on how many are on eBay, there can't be that many of them because it's not that it comes up for sale that often, right? I mean, there might be one or two on eBay at any given time.
It's one of the ones on one of my eBay automatic searches, and it doesn't pop up a lot. The thing that pops up a lot is the bust, which I actually do really like.
Yeah, the bust is really nice too.
That's probably the best Sideshow bust is that Galactus, I think.
So I think we cut you off there, Alex. But you were saying that basically that your Apocalypse. So when you did the review, everybody they didn't know what you were talking about because it looked way better on camera. Is that what you were saying?
That's the thing. Is like in hand it looked because you were saying about when you were filming and on camera sometimes if the lighting's a certain way and you film it, those colors pop on the camera and you're just like. When you then post a review, you're like, damn, I look like a fucking liar because this looked like a pile of shit in hand. But I'm watching this review and even I'm doubting myself. Well, there was something as well, though. On the other side, we reviewed the HMO Ren and in hand, beautiful, great looking piece. And we did some of the close-ups and things. And again, in seeing them and having the piece like right in front of you, it looked great. Then when you see the video, all the paint lines look like wayward. All the the detailing where she got scuffs on her helmet. It looked like someone literally took a Sharpie pen and like colored it all in. And we were like, I had to go back to my statue and literally go back and go, Jesus, is it really that bad? Like, take the head off. And like, I was like, no, it looks fucking great. So it works both ways, I guess.
So that's how I felt with the Thanos. I'm looking at it, and that was before I even edited my videos. So I'm like doubting myself as I'm comparing it. But you know what? I never doubted myself on that Carnage fucking Comiquette versus the premium format.
You should have done.
Can I ask a question?
The travesty.
Do you know on your premium format?
Yeah.
Do you know on the top of the head, the effect on my one was like a sample. It looks like a when you get a graze, and it's like all shiny and kind of like a red. It looked like like when you graze yourself. That's what mine looked like, and it looked great. And if they did that paint job over the whole body, it would have been awesome. But I just wanted to know if yours has that effect on the head.
Hold on, let me see.
Got some guys in the comment as well. Where was that one I just saw? Someone asking about the Sideshow Wolverine prototype. I saw the prototype in New York Comic Con.
But what about today? The production piece is getting shitted on today.
I saw that, but the thing is, I saw it, in front of me in New York. It looked fantastic. But the pictures but the pictures that people had, they weren't great pictures.
What am I looking for on this here?
What you've seen in person.
Yeah, sorry. If you go, let me click on you. Yeah, I don't know. My one was like painted in a way where it
I know what you're saying. You can see like orange and splashes of red in it.
Yeah, like do you know, like when you graze your elbow and it has like it looks like it's not bleeding, but it's like the blood's coming through. And it's kind of shiny.
Yours is a little bit more apparent than that.
Yeah,
yeah. You should take that just out the window, Jim. You don't need that, Steve. Throw it out.
So my most anticipated piece, I think, is the Prime 1 Venom. I'm trying to think of something else that I'm looking forward to more than that.
Venom you need, man.
I actually got rid of one. I got rid of that Hollymaw Venom.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That was the Maniac. That's nice, though.
No, I have the Maniac, and then I have the
XM. Sorry, Hollymaw. Sorry.
Hollymaw,
yeah. Sorry, I misheard that.
But I was thinking about selling a couple of them, but I mean, I was very impressed with the anti-Venom. So you guys have seen the Prime 1 Venom.
Nice. That looks really nice.
You've seen it in person, though, right?
The Prime 1 one? No. Not seen Prime 1 in person, though.
Oh, okay. So somebody was asking in the comments, do either of you have XM Namor?
No.
We've seen it, though.
I was offered a trade for that, and the funny thing about that was it was a guy who lives around the corner, Rod Motta, and he basically, I had the Vulture, and I said, anyone want to trade anything? Vulture's too big, and I love the piece, but I can't display him. So then Rod contacts me, going, "You up for a trade? Yeah, I've got a few XM pieces." It's like, yeah. What do you want to trade? He's like, do you want to trade XM Namor? And I'm like, dude, did you not read my post? I don't have the space. And then you're trying to trade.
That's a true XM piece. XM Namor is a true XM piece. But what I mean is it's done very well. It's got a massive base and concept, and it's a character that just doesn't get a lot of attention and should, because he's one of the members of the Illuminati. He should be made everywhere. I really think they did a good thing. Actually, I saw the old school Sideshow one. Actually, that's very nice as well.
I always felt like the base was much more detailed than Namor, and that the black part of his suit looked like it was probably just a smooth finish. And I don't know.
I think it's textured.
I mean, I think that it's a hard one, isn't it? I mean, you're going to see now if you're doing this doppelganger,
right?
That detail on top of detail cancels itself out. So if you do like a suit that's colorful and textured on octopus that's colored and textured, it's fucking camouflage. You can't. It just looks messy. You need some smooth with some texture. You need that contrast.
That's funny that you said that, because somebody asked me what's the texture going to be like on Doppelganger, and I'm like, there is no fucking texture. He's smooth on the skin on the blue part, and then the red part has the webbing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you have the eyes, which the eyes on Doppelganger, the way they depicted in comics is like very much like a fly's eyes, like a bug eye with a line.
Yeah.
So the question, is how are you going to? I guess the point is how you're going to get those eyes. Are you going to do like some sort of mesh? You know, it's one of those sort of things. It really does come down to that. I mean, I think that Wolverine, for example, is over textured. The new Wolverine, I think it's Sideshow. I think there needs to be paneling in there that is smooth. Like in the blues, all need to be smooth, and the black.
I think they make the black smooth though, right? Then they make the mask smooth.
I mean, the prototype looks heavily textured around the eyes, so I don't. But the production pictures I saw today look less so. But that's just because it's got thicker paint on it. The bottom line is if you can't expect the prototype to look 100% like production. Not for Sideshow. If you can get 80% of it, then you're going to be on to a winner. You're going to have a stunning like you're going to have an absolute gem of a statue in your collection.
That was one of the points you made there. I actually had a conversation with a couple of custom guys about that, because it's something that I never really considered. But you're just saying about it looks like less textured because it was heavy paint. And I remember having a conversation. I think it was with the guys from Salt and Pepper. And I've also had the conversation possibly with Franco Carlissimo, and it was saying about when they do the original sculpt, they have to over texture it to compensate for the factory over paint.
For the mold to lose it or whatever.
So I was like, it makes sense.
Today I just received update pictures of my XM Thanos, all the repainted heads, and he is making. The face that he is making in the portraits is much more graphic now than how I remember it from the factory paint at XM.
Right.
He's painted it. He's taken all the paint back and he's painted it like different colors and things and brought all the shade and everything out. And it's like a really aggressive textured piece. I just didn't realize it was there underneath all that paint. So it's not just Psycho. Everybody is the same.
Right.
It's how it goes. You just sometimes if the paint's put on applied thick, you're going to lose a lot of them details.
So you guys want to do this? We got a question here from Kin Shin, asking all three of us what are our top 3 pieces, and what piece is already out that we would like to review.
Go on. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So,
my top collection.
Yeah, the top 3 in collection. I think I'd have to say that my custom Weapon X is up there. The XM Ghost Rider, and I always have trouble with number 3. Fuck, I don't know. I have to think about number 3.
All right, I'd probably say if I'm talking about best, as in my best pieces, my best, I'm probably going to say Aaron Ray Perez Deadpool. I have custom Deadpool. I would say the Cable from XM Studios is
Cable's up there. Yeah,
definitely my favorite. And then I'd probably say it's really hard out of the Magneto on Throne or the Thanos on Throne. Yeah. I think the Magneto is better, but Thanos is my favorite. So it's one of those two. It depends. If you mean the best is in the quality, then it's Magneto. If you mean best in my favorite, then it's Thanos. And Venom, just XM Venom misses out just by a whisper.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I was thinking XM Magneto. Someone's giving me shit for not picking a Venom, but I think I like Venom so much that I'm harder on the Venom pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what George used to do in his collection was whenever he did his top 10, he would never add his Hulk statues in because he was so biased towards them.
Yeah.
Michael,
I still, even to this day, the Grey Hulk comic kit for me is probably the best sculpted Hulk I've ever seen. I love that Hulk.
But you know what? I couldn't unsee it when somebody said it looks like he's slipping on a banana peel. Are you talking about the comic cat where he's jumping, right?
Yeah. Nah, man. For me, I grew up with that jump, bro. That's solid.
Stop.
Ain't gonna get me so easy. I think if you're talking about a bucket piece that I would want to review, I want to review the Pumpkinhead by Sideshow.
I wouldn't have put money on that one. Damn.
I think I've seen lots of pictures of it. It looks so much bigger than I think it is, and it's rare and it's different, and I would definitely like to review that.
God, where am I then? I just through the kind of appreciation of the character, I love the XM Weapon X. I'm actually really happy with that, and I love the piece. You don't
like that?
No, I'm not a fan of it.
No, well,
I think
I got the Magneto slightly after that, and you know, I was still happier with the Weapon X, like buzzing about that. And to be honest with you, if somebody said to me, if my girlfriend said to me, you can only keep, you know, the Weapon X or the Magneto, I would get rid of the Magneto. To be honest with you,
the Magneto on Throne.
Yeah, but that's my preference in characters. So you know, God, I could be really boring and say Cable and Aaron Raper as Deadpool, but I actually do. You know, we say a lot of shit about Imaginarium art, but I do really like the Hulkbuster piece.
Very nice.
I think that they did a fantastic job. It was sculpted by Mafuzal Mukhtar. He did an awesome job with that. You know, I'm not the kind of person where if Imaginarium Art release something good, if we have a bitter relationship, I'm not going to be a dick and sort of say, well, everything they make is shit because I hate the owner or whatever. I don't hate the owner.
Stop buying for time, fuck it. Go
I'm trying to buy time, damn it. All right, so
Gio got 10 minutes left, right?
Yeah, Weapon X, Hulkbuster, and I'm going to go with Cable as well. I do love the Cable. Cable is the thing about the Cable one is for an XM piece, he doesn't really have that many switch outs like most other XM pieces. People complain that he doesn't have a switch out head, he doesn't have a light up eye, he doesn't, you know, whatever. But I think that they've done such a great job with the head that he doesn't need another head, you know. So yeah, I'm going to say Cable.
You owe me one now.
Sorry,
I'm sure Stephen only gave us fucking 2.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I'm going to go with XM Magneto for the third one, just because the concept and the uniqueness of it, and
one of the best storytelling pieces in existence.
Yeah, for sure. And it started a huge fucking trend with these throne pieces too, man. Now you got Shao Kahn on a throne. You got these custom throne pieces.
Well, there were throne pieces before the Magneto. He wasn't the first.
I mean, but it doesn't seem
Doom was before Magneto.
It doesn't seem like the hype got
it brought like a banker. It's basically like now, if you put a character on a throne, it will sell out. Like that's how Magneto's pretty much caused that to occur. So what pieces would you want to review then? Come on, give me your bucket list pieces.
So they said that's out already, because for a piece that's not out, I would love to review the XM Sentinel diorama. And I know you guys saw that in person, right?
Yeah, man, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I would love to review that.
It's ridiculous.
Listen, that's on a whole different level, man. I'm not even joking. It's not. It's on a different planet. Just if you think about, you know, just part of the Sentinel's leg is better than 90% of the pieces you've got in your fucking room. That's the
also, I mean, you know, you got the five characters or so in there as well. So I mean, it's 6 even, because you got the Nimrod on the base.
Are you guys in on? Is any one of you guys in on that?
Wow, no, I can't even. The shipping is going to cost more than the statue.
Yeah, same with me.
That is crazy,
ridiculous. But apparently,
they're going to do a Justice League version, isn't they? Yeah. They're going to do the same thing with a massive dark side and all the Justice League characters. So that'll be even better.
But George, didn't you get the memo that XM are going to send us one for free? So
yeah, you guys are getting the free version, right? Maybe you guys. When you guys are on a dinner date, you mentioned me, and then I want to get in on that same hookup.
Mate, listen, you are on the same flex that we're on. Unfortunately, my brother, you are. You know what I mean?
So that means I'll get free statues.
Middleman deposit buying. In fact, the only gift that we actually do get is that we are prestige members, which means we get 10% off. That is what we do get, and the reason why we get that is because I own about 12 pieces.
Yeah, I own about 14, I think. But I think the piece I would review. I think the original one was probably the Elite Creature Collectible. Sorry, the Cinema Ket. Sorry. I've always said the Cinema Predator, but I actually think the Alien would be really cool as well. But when I now look at the kind of things, so the pieces in hand would be probably the Alien. Pieces coming out would probably be the ECC Jason. I think that one would be the piece I'd love to see in hand. The one with the water base.
ECC is amazing stuff. It's just beyond my budget.
Yeah.
And thankfully they make movie pieces, which means I'm safe.
So I think for a piece that's already out, it's probably a piece that I would never want to buy. So I would take advantage of that, and I would do the OG Hulk piece and try to see what the fuck all the hype is about and why it goes for as much money as it does. Because I never have the want to buy it. Everyone's always telling me, Jem, you got to get the OG Hulk. But I did that with the cap, and I hated the cap. I was like, man, this is
I'm fucking started on that cap. Don't go there with this.
So I lump up that OG Hulk in the same kind of thing. Everyone loves it, but I'll get it. It might be shit.
I've seen the OG Hulk several times. The OG Hulk is much better than the OG Cap. The OG Hulk,
that's not hard.
The Hulk figure is really well sculpted. I think it's Andy Burkhouse who sculpted that. He did a great job. He's a classic Hulk. It's just a bit too classic. It's too classic for like my look. That I grew up with the Hulk. He's very like the very
I think that's it as well, Jim. As Stephen, that's the same thing. For
nostalgia.
You, it's not your Hulk, is it?
Right.
It's not our Hulk. We grew up with a different type of looking Hulk, man. That is a bit soft for our Hulk.
And the base is shit as well, but
yeah, oatmeal, isn't it? Oatmeal looks like he's standing on oatmeal.
But you know what I had? I actually sold this piece. I had the Sideshow Thing, and I thought that it was a really well done piece. And it's like it reminded me like must be the old school Sideshow vibe. Even though the base was a big rock base, it looked and felt like it was just done well. Have you guys ever had it?
Seen it? Yeah, we know it. Yeah.
We see the thing. I actually, I got a message the other day. Someone sent me a list of things they were selling, and that was on the list, and it was a really good price. And I went down the list, and I was like, yeah, that's overpriced. That's overpriced. That's overpriced. I got to the thing, and I'm like, damn, that is cheap. And I'm like, yeah, but it's the thing, and I fucking hate the thing. He's like, I can't explain it, but it's something about the thing that. He is my most hated Marvel hero ever. And I just really dislike him. And I think it's just to do with that thing where he's always like, yeah, it's clobbering time. And then he gets his ass
catchphrase, man.
Well, no, then he gets his ass handed to him. I mean, and actually one of my favorite moments. I
can't remember who's responsible for the custom.
That was Hungry Hulks.
Yeah, that custom of the thing is lovely. Really,
it goes for a lot of money too, man.
It's huge as well.
The Sideshow Thing I like, but I'm just trying to focus my collection a little bit, and he just didn't make the cut. And my boy wanted it, so I just sold it to him.
Well, it was part of a trilogy, wasn't it? Because it was if you have them all together, they're very similar. Is the
Abomination, maybe?
Yeah, the Hulk, the Thing, and the Abomination. I've never seen the Abomination in hand. I would love to see that.
Neither have I. That's why I've tried to do deals and trades on it, but. Apparently it's massive. Like the box on it is like you can get a fucking fridge in there.
I've heard two people tell me that they've done deals on the Abomination, and literally they've driven to go collect it, and they've had to flat pack the box in their car because it doesn't fit in their car.
It was on my radar for a while, but I'm glad I didn't get it because I would have ended up I'm going to get rid of all my Hulks, man.
The X with the fire hydrant in his hands meant to be really nice.
Yeah,
I mean, I know my boy works at a comic shop in Las Vegas, and they have one in there, and I'm always surprised because when I go to a shop, you always want to see an out-of-stock statue that you can't buy really online and just get it in person. That would be ideal, man. But
we don't really have that luxury where we are. I mean, the only place we have in the UK as a store is Forbidden Planet, and Forbidden Planet is, for example, they have the Carnage PF in the store. And the regular will cost you just shy of $1,000.
So then we're already at 2 hours, and there's a bunch of other shit I wanted to ask you guys, like about comics, about. So I mean, there's not really a big comic shop presence in the UK.
No, well, the thing is you get the most comic book stores here are becoming very heavily dominated by those fucking bobblehead things.
Oh, Funkos.
Yeah, Funkos. Yeah, they're heavily dominated by that. Even a lot of the conventions now, they're just taking over. Those Funko Pops have exploded ridiculously. So
Manimal had to stop me. Manimal had to stop me from buying some Funko Pops at a convention. I don't own any, but he knows me. If I start getting into that, next video you're gonna see a whole fucking wall of Funko Pops from floor to ceiling.
But that's exactly why I don't have your Infinity box set thing. It's exactly why I don't own it, because it's the same problem. Because
it's good to know your weakness.
I'll be like, oh, Secret Wars. Yeah, let's get that. Oh,
yeah.
I'll just
Civil War.
It just gets out of hand. It just goes crazy, and you only got so much room to display so much, you know.
Do any of you guys?
What would always happen with me though is I'll be like, oh yeah, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get like a Funko Pop to go with every one of my statues, and then there's going to be 2 characters that they don't make, and it's going to really piss me off. And I'm just like, or one of those characters is like the super expensive version, because.
And I would do that. I would go on eBay and buy the most expensive Funko Pop exclusive fucking one. But, you know, a lot of guys.
A lot of guys for crazy money.
No, I'm sure a lot of guys pose the Funkos next to their statues, but I'm not really a big fan of that. I always see that, and I'm like, you got this massive statue and this little $2 piece of shit next to it. Like, get that shit out of there.
Well, they had that. There's a company I think called Chubby or something like that, and they make those Funko Pop style pieces to match statues. So they have like the Spider-Man comic kit, which I'm pretty sure Victor used to have, and then they have the Magneto one thrown, and they have like quite a lot of.
Oh, really?
The statue, yeah, they've remade.
They're nice looking, but again, it's the same.
But they are well expensive. You
wouldn't want to put that next to the proper thing, would you?
They're really expensive as well. Really expensive.
I saw some new ones that are coming out that are from the Infinity War movie. There's like a Iron Spider one, a Hulkbuster one. They're big as hell, but they look like Funkos.
You're talking about the cool White Cool or something like that. Someone sent me a link for one of them.
So something I wanted to ask you guys. So I know, so we're around the same age. We're like what, mid-30s, early to mid-30s, or whatever.
Yeah.
So we all got into comics during the 90s, I would say, right? Trading cards, cartoons, comics.
Yeah.
So is your love from statues, is it based on like that childhood? Like nostalgia factor, right?
100% it is. That's exactly for us. For me, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. If I had as a kid, if I'd have walked into this room, I'd have lost my shit.
Yeah, me too.
Lost my fucking shit. I would have been like, I need to have. I would actually consider stealing. I think that's how much I might lose it. Because I might think I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna grab a few boys, I might come back to that house and take that. That's how much I was like, it would obsess me. I'd be thinking, I need, I think when I was a kid, I remember very much, right, that I once stayed at my auntie's house, and it was like my auntie through marriage, and she had a son who was a bit older than me, and he had like a Hulk, from the cartoon that we had like in the late 80s.
Right.
Yeah, he had like a Hulk, massive fucking thing like this, and what it did was it was like a toy, and it sprayed water out of its mouth, and he chased me around the house with it when I was like about 4 or 5 years old, and I think even to this day I still look for that Hulk toy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You get them sort of things, and half of my collection is built around that nostalgia from comic books and from.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you said. I think we create these rooms because, like you said, what would the younger version of you want to see, and that's what we create when we do these type of statue rooms.
Well, my collection actually started differently, really, because mine was more movie based, and George and I both are big movie fans. My collection started more to be like RoboCop, Terminator, Alien.
Right.
Those kind of characters, but then I just realized that companies like Sideshow, they just didn't really expand on those lines very much. So with the kind of comic book lines, you could, we were big comic book fans, as you say, from the early 90s. I mean, yeah, must have been around then. But again, back when we were that age, there weren't really that many places you could buy comics. You had the odd like newsagent where you could buy either a Spider-Man comic or a Superman comic, and that was your choice, really. We were very lucky where near my house there was a shop that actually sold the X-Men Flair cards, so we bought those when we were kids. But I remember those being, I'm pretty sure we paid like $7 a pack because they were imported. We had to pay that, and so it was like £5 a pack, and you'd get like 10 cards, and we were buying them. So yeah, it's all about nostalgia. It's about like so that's why as well, when I look at some of the lines, so like Court of the Dead, you look at these lines where there's no nostalgia attached to them.
Yeah, I would never buy them.
I can't buy them because I need that investment. I need that mental investment in there. Luckily as well, I mean, I watched Berserk. I've seen Berserk, but I only watched it recently. The statues for Berserk are fucking insane. They're some of the best out there. They look crazy.
But you're not emotionally invested into them, right?
I'm not invested because I didn't watch it when I was younger. I only watched it recently.
That's like with me with Dragon Ball Z. I'm watching Dragon Ball Z now, but it's cool. I like it, but I could never see myself buying the Dragon Ball Z statues.
I stay away from shit for that reason. If there's some cool statues and like people are, you should watch Berserk or One Punch Man. Forget about it. I'm not interested because I know that there's a £10,000 investment waiting for me. As soon as I watch that thing, I'm like, if I enjoy it, I'm gonna. But you're right. I mean, a lot of it is age. I mean, we say this a lot of the time. If we, for example, I missed Die Hard when I was a kid. I didn't watch Die Hard. You know, Bruce Willis.
Yeah, of course.
I watched it when I was about 30. And Alex has loved it since we were kids. And he would say to me, "You to watch Die Hard," and I'd be like, "Oh, fuck that." And then I don't like Bruce Willis. So eventually, I watched Die Hard in my 30s, and I was like, "Yeah, this is shit. This film is shit." And he's like, "No, you missed it. You missed the point that it would have been good. You had to watch it like 10 years ago." Like,
I had the same. I had the same thing with Willow. I watched Willow again, probably in my 30s, and George used to go on about Willow all the time. I watched it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this dog shit? What is he going on about?"
I don't even know what that is, man.
Willow with Val Kilmer.
With Val Kilmer, and they got a little baby. Like he's a dwarf. And they got a little baby, and they got to get the baby back. The baby's like a princess or something. It's like one of them films you watch when you're really small. You're like,
so that's how everyone likes Legend. I never saw that as a kid. I watched it recently. I was
about to mention that. That's really funny.
And I was like,
that's weird. That's weird as fuck.
But I like all the scenes with what's his name? Darkness?
Tim Curry, Darkness,
All of his scenes are tight, but the rest of the movie, I was like, this is whack, man.
I watched what happened was I did a deal. I watched it when I was younger, and I remember enjoying it. But I remember watching it like, when I was like younger than 10. And I remember thinking to myself, "Oh yeah, this was good." It was like kind of like Labyrinth, that kind of thing. And then
another one that I was never into as a kid.
But then what happened was I did a deal on the original Sideshow Premium format. I was thinking to myself, you know what, I got that coming in. That character's a badass. I'm going to watch this film. I sat down with my girlfriend. I downloaded it's some kind of edit where I think it's some it's not a director's cut. It's like another cut. And I watched that, and it was like extended by about 22 minutes, I think. And I watched it, and I'm just like, this is like one of the weirdest fucking films I've ever seen in my life. How did I watch this as a kid? And I'm just like,
how are you allowed? That's what I think when I watch it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
You watch Never Ending Story now as a grown up, you think, fuck, that's a bit weird, man. It's a bit strange.
Yeah.
What movie is this? Which one?
Huh?
Which movie is this you're talking about? Willow?
No. There's another film called Never Ending Story. I don't know.
But see, I did watch that as a kid. So if you had a statue of that big ass dog, that would
and the rock guy with his rock dude. That's what I'm saying. That's nostalgia. But if you watch it as a grown up now, you'd be like, "There's some undertones to this shit. There's some undertone weirdness going on." So it's not funny, man.
Shit, man. All right, well, I mean, What's that?
No, I was gonna say I still have Willow. I got the steelbook over there, man.
Yeah, but you got the Legend steelbook, ain't you?
Nah, I gave it to Mike Reale.
Oh, did you? All right.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of your house.
You haven't got into steelbooks, Steve, no?
Do I collect steelbooks?
Yeah.
No, I actually had a huge Blu-ray collection, and I ended up selling it. When I was into CGC books, I really wanted an Amazing Fantasy 15. And I was selling every collectible I had to fund this AF-15, and I sold my entire. I had like every comic book, Blu-ray movie out there, but I never got the steel books because I liked how they all matched with the blue on the top. You know what I'm saying? The case is all matched.
Yeah.
So
steel books all matched though.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, I'm like you. I don't need to be getting into another fucking habit.
Man, steel books, nice. What's your favorite Marvel film?
Probably the first Avengers.
God, that's boring, that one.
But to me, I think about it at the time. You had watched the 4 movies, and they all led into this never happened before connecting movie.
This is the Avengers one. See it?
Yeah. That's nice.
And then it's got their shield on the back.
I have the box sets for those. The Phase 1 and Phase 2 box sets.
They're similar. Yeah, it's pretty much those. I mean, I got like I've been collecting. I quite like steelbooks. Steelbooks is a problem. Steelbooks is a genuine problem.
I am not. I've not gone to steelbooks yet.
Look, let's just come in.
Well, you don't like the film though.
I do actually like the film, but this is a comic book movie that I didn't have in steelbooks. I needed to get watched.
Yeah.
So now I get one.
So
is that the ultimate one though? That's like 3.5 hours long.
I have no idea. Just saw that it was Watchmen steelbook and went, "Fuck yeah, I'll have that." So I bought that.
That's a statue opportunity that no one's really jumping on, huh? The Watchmen.
I did see a custom. Someone was looking at doing a Rorschach.
Yeah, that's the only one I saw. You never saw Dr. Manhattan. You should have one.
There is Bushy's doing a Dr. Manhattan.
Is he censored or uncensored?
He ain't got a cock, no.
Wasn't there a Wolverine custom that had his balls hanging out or something?
Yeah, the Wolverine. Basically, I don't know if his balls were hanging out or whether it was like the angle where he had these kind of pouches that looked like his balls were hanging down. I'm not sure.
I thought it was intended to be like naked.
Not hanging out. I'm sure that they are.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
I saw that
wolves, man. I mean, there's some serious RSPCA shit going on there. He's like stabbing the fuck out of them wolves. It's animal cruelty he's doing.
I don't like that. I don't like the head on it. I don't like the balls on it, but I don't like the head either.
I don't remember. I saw it one time, and I was like, I would never buy a naked Wolverine statue. That's why I never wanted the XM Wolverine, Weapon X. But that's besides the point. But I never saw it again since then. What about like they have a lot of naked female statues? I can never do it, man. I have a wife and kids at the house. I can't be having.
There's a guy on YouTube who basically takes all the statues and then redoes them as naked statues.
He's into it, man.
He then basically sells them back for like $1,200 or something. And I mean, the sculptor's done pretty well. He's converted them well, but it's just a bit strange. I don't know.
I don't want to lower the tone, but the objective of my statues is keeping them behind glass and keeping them stain free. So if I was to get a naked chick, I don't think it would fit my.
The paint will get all rubbed off on certain areas. And shit.
It'll be all like sticky and shit. You'd be like, yeah, don't. Who wants to buy this? People come around and be like, yeah, I don't want.
No thanks.
There's not actually. I've got to say, there's not many female statues I like. In fact, there isn't any at all I like, really.
What, female statues?
Not really. No.
Yeah. So I had that problem too.
It's the only one that I like. I mean, it's the only one that I think looks like sexy and cute and all the things that I like. I just don't like any of the others really.
Which one do you like?
I've got only one. I've only got the Green with Envy, the premium format.
Yeah, that's a dope statue though.
Yeah, it's nice, and it complements the Bane very well. I mean, having them two together again, like we were talking about contrasts, because Bane has got that skin like flex. I don't know if you've seen the Bane in person, the DC Bane.
Never.
It's a stunning piece. It's one of the best pieces they've brought out in years. But you have a character that's vibrant and green and reds and all these bright colors, and you put that next to a humanized character, and all of a sudden they sort of jump out together. They stand out next to each other. So, this is a good compliment. It's a good match. I don't really like many others, to be honest. Alex had the Phoenix from Sideshow. I thought that was shit.
Yeah, I saw that. Do you know what?
People love that. I thought it looked like shit too.
I think the problem with a lot of the Sideshow pieces is the Sideshow pieces need a proper paint, a proper repaint. Sideshow have like the best painters in the world working for them. Kat Sabine comes straight to mind. I think she may have painted that. But the thing is, she paints the prototype. She does an amazing job. She probably spends like a month painting that solid. And then you get some guy who paints it in 10 minutes in the factory. They're not going to replicate it. Yeah. They just can't.
It's about understanding that. The half of the problem that we have at the moment is the lack of understanding. You got people that are showing you pictures on every group saying, look at Wolverine's teeth, look at Wolverine's eyes, look at the lean, look at this. You've got to understand that if you saw that prototype in New York and you were under the illusion that that is what you're getting, you're off your fucking tip.
Well, there's a lot of artists where what they do is I know that Mike Mignara, I can't remember if it was himself or it might have been Ant actually, Ant commenting on his behalf, where he said that what you need for a company, you need an artist who can paint it, not necessarily to the best of their ability, but to the best ability that the factory can replicate. Right. Exactly. And it's something that, apparently Mike, he does a lot of the PCS stuff, a lot of Sideshow stuff, and he apparently knows exactly what the factory can replicate, and that's what he puts out.
I heard that too.
You get then someone like James TCE, and however you say his name, he is like one of the best painters out there. So if he paints something, his prototype is going to look fucking ridiculously amazing, but the factory can't replicate it. For them to replicate, he's been told by I think it was HMO. They told him, can you kind of tone it down quite a lot because they can't do it. You can't, and it's just weird. It's quite strange.
You just need to look at it. Look at the prototype, right? Look at a prototype of a piece and say, okay, I love the way this looks. And then say, if it came out 70% of that standard, would I still be happy? And then you buy. And that's it. That's all you need to do. If you're going, I'm buying it based on this alone, then you will be one of these guys now that's putting loads of posts up in all the groups saying how fucked the Wolverine looks because you've invested. Because you're invested.
But I think that Wolverine, the leaning issue, I think is bigger than so much the paint.
I agree 100%. And I also have to remind people, I did today in the groups, that the LSF cost more. You know what I mean? Bigger, more investment went into that piece, and that falls over.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Piece leans and falls, and arms fall out, and there's problems with it. So don't think because it costs X, it's going to get any more attention than Y. It doesn't mean anything. We're hopeful that the pegs need to be. I mean, that carnage that you have, for example, the whole peg system is wrong. The weight is going to one side and the peg's in the opposite side. Who the fuck thought of that?
The magnets are weak too.
Yeah, but if you have a piece, for example, if you have a piece, right, and here's the center of it, and it's coming up towards this side, right? Mm-hmm. Where should your pegs be? You'd be
the other side.
The other side.
Right.
But he's doesn't. That's got a little clip bit that goes into a part, and the peg is on the other leg where all the weight is. So what you end up having is, if you try and move that carnage, there's a strong possibility that could just flip straight out of it. So you've got to be really careful with how you handle it and really careful with where it's placed. It's just how it goes.
I guess. Yeah.
I think the Wolverine's got the same problem. The legs are kind of in line, but it's going to one side. So hopefully, they can sort it out. But you only know when you get in hand. It's a lottery, and if you don't like it, send it back.
Are you guys? Are either of you reading any current comics? Do you guys still read or?
Yeah, man. I've just started on that Venomized.
Oh yeah, Manimal just dropped that off. Yeah.
Yeah, I just started on that. I just finished the Thanos run. The 1 to 18.
I just finished it the other day, and that's really why I brought this up. What do you think about like that whole old man Thanos and that final arc? I thought that shit was crazy, man.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I
Me
really
too.
liked it. But as you see, I really like the complexities of that character in general. That's why I kind of like the way that they did things in the the new Infinity War film. I liked the way that they went with it. I don't know how you felt about the film, but I liked.
Oh, I loved it. I thought they made him top Marvel cinematic villain. They made him complex. I think I was telling everybody, like, I don't think he was even angry, not once in the whole film. He wasn't a villain, a mad. He thought he was doing the right thing. And he thought he was selfless. He thought he was doing it to help y'all out. It's not. He's not doing it for himself.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also interesting. I mean, if you read any conspiracy theories, if you've ever heard of the Bilderberg Group and things like that, there is this considered, world power group that gets together every year to discuss, what the world's crisis, the world's, the direction, what goes out in the media, what goes out in the papers, what you read, what you hear, what you see. And one of the things that they've been talking about for the last probably 3 years that keeps kind of linked and thrown out there is the overpopulation, the over stemming population. And what they're saying is they want to try and reduce it by 70% for this planet. You know what I mean? So that there's a better balance, and that you have more, and all of this. There's too many mouths. There's too many this. There's too many that. So I thought that was quite smart. How Hollywood sort of grabbed one of those conspiracy theories and sort of ran with it with its villain. I thought that was really clever. I kind of liked that they didn't go with the I'm trying to please Mistress Death. I kind of
I don't know. I don't think that would have translated well in the movie, man.
I totally agree with you. I don't think people would relate to it. I think they'd just be like, I don't get this. I just don't get how this is going to work. And I think they really did well with that. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved him in books. He's been my favorite character since I was like about 10 years old.
What do you think about the Cosmic Ghost Rider?
Yeah, I wasn't too invested, to be honest with you. Everyone was going a bit crazy. I kind of liked it, but it's for me, I've never been invested in the Ghost Rider in general. I mean, I think that XM piece, the Ghost Rider piece, is probably one of the best engineered pieces ever made in the history of Stanley Collectibles.
And it's impressive as well, just the way it looks.
The look is good, but I think if you go, I don't know, you talk about when you started or when you started getting into collecting, but when we started, you got a base, a figure, and a head, maybe exactly. You understand. This was something that sort of changed the entire world for stuff like that. It showed what you could do, where it's like, okay, you've got 25 different base elements, you've got real bike elements, you've got metal elements, you've got, I just thought the way that was done was just absolute masterpiece. I love that they did that they basically said, we can make this, so we're going to make it. I like that idea.
I feel like XM does that with every new piece. They try to figure out what can we do different or that has never been done. Even with the XM Weapon X, which I'm not a fan of, but they were like, let's make it look like he's wet. Like no other statue looks like they're wet. So they just come up with like, what can we do different? I think that's cool.
The funny thing is, behind the scenes, that a lot of people don't realize is just how difficult that was. What people don't realize is that they had problems for at least a year, maybe longer, trying to get that wet so it aged. Because unfortunately, that wet look on the Wolverine that you're seeing, they age it, don't they? They try and get the composition of that right so that it doesn't go yellow, that it doesn't color. And that is very difficult to do. So it was easier for them just to make him dry. It was
also
they had the dry version, and they had the wet version, and then they were like, which one do you like? We had them both in our hands.
We had them there, like basically a wet and dry version, and they both, in all honesty, they both had their merits. The dry version, you could see a lot more of the sculpt. The wet version does hide a few things, but overall, when I looked at both of them, I was like, yeah, you got to do the wet. He's bursting out of his the capsule.
It adds to the story. It adds to the uniqueness.
I think the fact that it's harder and it took all that work, but they still done it anyway. I think that whether you like them or hate them, or you're pro Sideshow, or you're pro anybody, or you're pro whatever, I don't think you can knock the fact that they try really hard to give you the best possible thing, regardless of how difficult that may be.
My first experience with XM, when I had the XM Venom on pre-order, first experience with them as a company, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but the first batch of the McFarlane portrait, the mouth looked like it was open too much. And people started complaining, and I saw XM put a post on their Facebook.
It was one side, wasn't it? It was like that a bit.
Something was fucked up with it. And XM made a funny post saying something along the lines of, hey, you don't like this head? Too bad. We're redoing it, and it's going to be a delay. Or it was funny, but they were basically saying, we're going to redo this fucking head so that you guys like it. And I was just thinking, damn, that's crazy. Like, I could see any other company would be like, hey, Artist Liberty, sorry.
Listen, if you had the modern Thor PF, you knew exactly what was going on. You know, that they had the same thing. You know, that the piece came out. I remember Victor Rosario reviewing it, and the damn thing almost fell over in his arm. And then they, you know, that got out. They got through the door. They sent you out a piece to fix the gap. You know what I mean? They, you know, that was a classy touch. It's nice when people do that, but to stop production, to stop everything, to stop all the shipping and say, no, stop, hold. Yeah, I agree. I mean, but that's what you're paying for. That's what I'm paying for.
These things ain't cheap.
Old school wise, you paid for and you got less. I mean, I think these days now prices gone a little bit crazy, and there's an oversaturation for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how long the bubble can continually expand, to be brutally honest with you.
They say the same thing about the CGC books, man. We've been in a bubble for a long time, and we all know that they don't last forever, but we don't know when it's going to happen, you know?
Well, CGC, I mean, they must be on a real high at the moment because of all the movies coming out. So you must have all these casual people getting involved with the CGC. Of course,
yeah. Ever since the MCU hit the scene, I think that's what brought me back into it. I mean, I wasn't into comics through my teenage years, but
then, unfortunately, you probably got, you know, I don't like to say it, but unfortunately, Stan Lee doesn't have long left. So you can see now when you see his books, they're shooting up in value. If he signs a book now, the value of that's gone up a lot.
Man. His signature has just gone to shit, man. They need to leave that guy alone.
And the other thing is that's probably it's got to be the most signed item as a Stan Lee signature. I mean, you know, it's going to be a boom when he does pass away, because unfortunately it's going to happen. But there's going to be a boom, but it's not going to hold value because there's so many signed CGC books out there with him.
Yeah, I mean, for the last maybe 10 years, all that guy's been doing is fucking like signing. He's been signing his life away, that poor guy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with that.
Signing everything. It's sad to see. I mean, some guys on the group, they share, like, I had this signed by Stan Lee, and the signature, it used to be such an iconic look to the signature. Now it doesn't look anything like how it used to.
Yeah, it's fucked.
I mean, you can really see that it's the, you know, age is getting the best of him. So sad, really sad seeing, you know.
Well, listen, we're going to wrap up the show because unlike y'all, I still have a good portion of my Sunday left. I got to do some errands and all this shit. But first of all, I definitely want to thank you guys for coming on the show. Hopefully we'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, I just want to say that I'm not reading any new comics. So.
Oh, yeah.
Leave me out of it, it's fine.
You're a movie guy.
Yeah, well, the last couple, sorry, just quickly, the last couple I did read was I bought these stupid like graphic novel things where they release them monthly, and the last one I read was like Craven's Last Hunt, so they've got that, and then I'm trying to read those from the beginning, and then the next one is like a Hulk one, so it's called Hulk Silent Screams, but and then I read the X-23 Origins as well, which actually was really good, but it got a bit shit towards the end, but that was pretty good. But I haven't read anything new in a long time. But
well, I want to say thank you very much for having us on, man. It was nice actually to come on and not be doing it from our point of view anymore.
It's different, right? Because and I feel different. Like when I jump on someone else's show, like I do my boy TiVo's Lords of the Long Box, I feel like I'm acting different. Like it's different when you're running your own shit and different as a guest, you know. But I do like running it better. I have more fun this way. So I appreciate you guys making it interesting. Next week, we'll probably be back to our regular schedule with my boy Manimal, and we'll do a show around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. What do you guys got going on? You got anything you want to plug?
We're busy all the time. I mean, yeah, we'll probably do our chat. I think like Thursday or Friday this week. We try and do that weekly. I'm gonna reshare this on our channel anyway, so this will be up as our.
So if you're going to be watching there, make sure that you sub to Gem Mint. Especially if you're into comic books and you're into statues. Especially gaming stuff as well. He's got his hands in a lot of pies. Is Stephen Small, obviously, so you know where he's coming from. And if anybody out there is looking to get into a real good community vibe, definitely check out the Radd Titan Facebook group, Statue Collecting. And if you're selling or buying or trading, we have 2 groups, one worldwide there and one for Britain and Europe, UK and the European Union. So there as well. So if you're looking to get into that sort of thing and you want to come and be able to share, it is actually it is heavily moderated. So in regards to, there are people always watching to make sure that you're well kept and well treated and looked after as you should be. We have 10, 12, maybe 30 moderators from all over the world. So it's 24 hours to make. I
must be good because I don't know any of the mods, so that means I'm staying out of trouble.
Right, yeah. If you get a message from Vass, then you're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, Vass is our boy.
But no, a lot of these guys that watch this show, they ask me a lot of statue questions. The way that I learned all this shit was from interacting with the collectors in the groups. The Radd Titan group to me is how do I say this? I feel like there's more freedom in the Radd Titan group, and you don't really have to hold your tongue as much, and I don't know, you could just be a little bit more open. Like the omnibus groups I'm in, they're a little bit stricter there, and you kind of got to be careful. You fuck around and say something, you'll get banned real quick. But like in your guys' group, I feel at least for me, I feel comfortable. I can say whatever I want to say. I'm not an asshole, so I'm not going to get banned.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, it's as long as you're going in there, you're sharing and you're doing your stuff, just being nice to your fellow man. We always try and promote. You could, by all means, you can hate the piece, but just remember that there's a person attached to it. So you just don't get into shitting on them. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal. You like the Carnage PF? I think you're insane.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's how it goes, and the respect will always be there. We just won't agree on that particular thing, and that's the way to treat it. I have people I talk to, statue collectors in the UK, and I don't like any of the pieces they like, but we're still friends. It's like if they say to me, "Yeah, I like it," I'm like, "Right, well, it's definitely going to be bad." That's just how it goes. You know what I mean? You got to have some fun with it. Just try and keep it community-wise, man. That's the way.
Totally agree. All right, y'all. So I guess that's it. Great show, man. If you don't pay attention, you'll turn around and be 4 hours later. You know what I mean?
So that's cool, man. You got an extra 30 minutes out of me. So I'm gonna go take my dog out, kiss my wife, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much, Stephen, for having us on, man.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, buddy.
Peace.